Straight Talk, episode 56. Hog Molly Love.
Hey, do you want to hear some sports talk? It's a seventh inning stretch, a Hail Mary pass, the half-court press for first place to last. Pitchers and hitters, punters and runners, we got the scoop and the latest scores. We got the stats and all of the facts. 3 and out's got a lot more than that. 1, 2, 3 and out in the old ball game.
All right, welcome to NFL Weekly Straight Talk, episode 56. We've made it through yet another long work week. I want to jump right into this. This is called Hog Molly Love. We're going to be ranking left tackles, right tackles, guards, centers, giving big love to the big men up front and on the D-line as well. I want to bring in my partners here, James Tsunami, Flythe, and Jamel Ace Boogie Clark. Come on in, say hey, everybody.
What up, y'all? I know who it is. It's your boy, Boogie. Back at it again. I missed it last week with the quarterbacks and all that, but we're going to get to that later. Right now, it's Hog Molly Saturday. Let's get it.
And you expect me to follow that up?
Good luck trying, I guess.
No. That's what I do. Sup.
All right, so last week we went over quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. This week, like I said, we're going to give some love to the big men up front that both pass rush the quarterback as well as protect the quarterback. Jamel, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one since you missed last week with us. How about telling us who you got for your top left tackles?
All right.
And give some reasons why as well.
Are we naming them all or like?
Are we what?
We're naming all of them or?
Like top 5, top 10, whatever list you got.
All right, well, I got my top 10 right here.
Okay.
And coming in at number 10, I got San Francisco's tackle, Joe Staley.
Old reliable. He's been doing it a long time, still getting it done. Definitely, I think in everybody's top 10 at left tackle.
Yeah, but he's definitely getting a little old though. So that's one thing I would say to keep an eye on. But they did draft some. I think they drafted some offensive linemen, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. They did. I believe it was Mike McGlinchey.
Yep. So I got Joe coming in at number 10. Then my number 9, I'm taking the trip down to Detroit with your boy Taylor coming in at number 9. Taylor. What's his last name? Decker.
Taylor Decker.
Taylor. Yeah. Then let's see. My number 8. Y'all gonna hate this, but you gotta give him his props, just because that's what Atlanta needed to what they was using to get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I know you're talking.
Jake Matthews, number 8.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to solidify himself as a great left tackle. Started off this career a little bit rocky, but he's definitely improved his kickback ability on the left side of the line, protecting Matt Ryan blindside. Yeah, I got no issues with him being in your top 10.
And I think he only gave up like 3 sacks last year, something like that. He didn't give up many. So then we got number 7. I'm going can you hear me?
Yep, numero siete.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going out there to Tennessee, Tennessee Titans, and I'm gonna go with your boy Taylor.
Taylor Lewan, that dude is a damn wrecking ball at left tackle. Pure hog molly.
Mariota real good. Yeah. So let's see. Now we get into the top 6 where we start dropping them names. At number 6, I was kind of, I didn't know who I wanted to give it to, but I'm gonna give it to your boy Trent Williams with the Redskins.
All right, Trent Williams. He's another one who's been doing it a while. Was pretty elite when he first started out. He has kind of dropped off a bit, especially with the left tackles coming in for the Lions,
right?
The Titans, the Falcons. But he's still pretty damn solid. Still getting it done.
Now this is my number 5. Even though he got hurt. I'm still going with him. Jason Peters with the Eagles.
Jason Peters, still, yep, agreed again. Even at his age, even though he got hurt, before that, he was pretty damn solid, had a pretty consistent injury history, nothing too severe. I expect him to bounce back from this, even in spite of his advanced stage. I wonder if they might end up trying to make him a right tackle at some point, though. Maybe try Lane Johnson at their left tackle in the future.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I'll go ahead and say this right now. The Eagles, they're probably going to have a top 10 spot on damn near all of these offensive line positions. I think we should go ahead and get that out of the way right now. The Lane Johnson's definitely one of the top right tackles in the league. And, go ahead with the rest of your list. I'm still sharing videos to different groups.
Then we got number 4. You got to give that line some credit, and that's the Dallas Cowboys with your boy Tyron Smith.
Oh, that's another one who's going to have top 10 players at damn near, at least the O-line. Their D-line is seriously lacking, but that offensive line, it's like the damn doomsday line of Dallas all over again here in the 2000 eras.
Now, here we go. My top 3s. This was hard for me because it could go either way.
Oh, I think we come across a lot of different ones that it could be. You could flip them around 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Just like last week, I think we all agreed. Well, you missed the show, but we pretty much agreed. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees were the top 3. That was pretty damn unanimous on the show,
right?
And no one really batted an eye. So
right. So I got Green Bay is my number 3. David, what's his name? Bakhtiari.
David Bakhtiari.
Yeah,
he's one of those new guys that come in 2013. I think he was drafted, and he's lived up to the hype. I think he was the 9th tackle taken in the 2013 draft, and he's proven himself to be the best one of the 2013 class.
Yep. And number 2, I got your boy. Even though he's going now, he just left. I got to shout out my Cleveland Browns, Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, without a doubt, solid. I think he's got a shot at a Hall of Fame career, even in spite of being on a lackluster Browns team.
Right.
Hey, Henry, Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be posting in different groups as well as Panther Chronicles. Just bear with us. It's a labor of love trying to get the show out to the different groups right now. But thanks for tuning in.
And my number 1, People might give me flat for it, but I'm gonna go with the LA Rams with your boy Andrew Whitworth.
Andrew Whitworth. I do have to say this. I'm kind of surprised you didn't have Teron Armstead of the Saints on this list.
I'm surprised you didn't have someone else on that
Oh,
list.
God. Do we really got to start playing the damn Patriots thing this early?
He's not even a Patriot.
Okay. Oh, you put a load at me on that one. I just had to stop the song.
He was.
Oh, he was. See, I knew it with you. He was a Patriot. See? Commence maestro.
But yeah, with the Saints, the reason why I didn't pick him was because it took a while for him to get going last year. He didn't come out the bat.
Teron Armstead.
Yeah.
All right.
He's a beast now. He's a beast. Just, yeah. It took a while for him to get going.
I got you on that. Yeah, about your top 10 is almost the same as my one, pretty much. With a few exceptions, a few different position changes and whatnot, but other than that, they're about the same. Mm-hmm. James, do you have a top left tackles that you want to do here?
I mainly just mixed all mine together.
Okay. All right, we'll let you go last on your one then, if that's all right with you, man.
Yeah, I just kind of lumped them because, personal issues and whatnot.
All right, first, before I do this, I'm going to have a few left tackles to watch. Ones that are pretty much either up and coming or they're about to be on a contender, I think. And one of those is from the Minnesota Vikings. I got Riley Rife.
Okay, I was going to say,
Riley Rife is going to be one to watch in Minnesota. I think he's a definite upgrade over Mike freaking Remmers. Let's get that out of the way right now. Panthers fans know about Mike Remmers. He's a definite upgrade over Mike Remmers.
Right.
Oh, I finally found this thing that lets me share to multiple people. That's great. Now I can do this right. Riley Rife, definitely one to watch, upgrade over Mike Remmers. I'm doing a massive share with my phone right now. Bear with me, people. I was trying to figure out where this page was earlier, and it wasn't looking. It wasn't, I love the new Facebook app, how they've done it. You can share to like 100 different groups at once with this setting. Whereas before, you would do a show and you could only share once, and then you had to set up a post and share again and set up another post and share that way. With the new automated way, you just hit share and bam, 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 and you can share to different groups at once. I love that. Back to what I was saying about left tackle. Sorry about the distraction, y'all. Riley Rife, definitely one to watch. Coming over to the Vikings. A replacement for Mike Remmers. He's going to be – I don't even think he's going to be under a lot of pressure. Kirk Cousins, definitely a quick-release quarterback. They got the weapons over there in Minnesota in Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. I don't think we're going to see Kirk Cousins put on his ass that much. That's real talk. And I think you're going to see Riley Rife jump up in the left tackle rankings this time next year when we're doing this show again. He's one to watch there. Russell Okung, I think he's going to help out the Chargers. I think a lot of his – go ahead, man.
I'll say, with the Chargers.
It's funny. A lot of these cats that are on this list are already solid players, and now they've got a fresh new start, and they're really ones to watch. That's Russell Okung of the Chargers. He fits into the same category. He's always had good technique, great in hand battles. He's a big pickup for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he's going to help keep Phillip Rivers from being tackled or sacked that much.
You also got to throw in your boy from the Saints that we was just talking about.
Our boy from the
Saints. He had a slow start, but now he finished strong.
Yeah, Teron Armstead was my next one to watch. Not quite making the top 10, but he's they pretty much upgraded that entire offensive line this past year. Even, division rivalry, got to give them credit. They done the smart thing. They built around their quarterback, Scott Dunleavy. I'll save that for in the Carolina Panthers group. I don't want to have that put on the air on the radio. This is a more professional thing here. But yeah, I think we might do that for you later on. Wow, I just lost my train of thought with that. But yeah, Teron Armstead and the Saints in general, they really upgraded that offensive line. I didn't think that they had the line last year to become a running team like they looked like they were going to when they brought in Adrian Peterson, when they drafted Alvin Kamara. Hey, Jackie King, thanks for tuning in. I didn't think they had the O-line. I'll be damned. See, that just goes to show you, not everyone is right about everything. It turned out they did have the offensive line, the left tackle, the positions needed to run the ball effectively, and they became one of the best running teams of the NFL this past year. By this time next year, I wouldn't be too shocked if Teron Armstead has made that jump into top 9, top 10 on the list. Another one to watch, Donald Penn of the Oakland Raiders. He got injured week 15, needed surgery, but he's a lunch pail type worker. He's just quietly gets the job done, and I think he's going to be, he made it to the Pro Bowl as well in spite of his injury in week 15. Didn't get to play, of course, but I think he's going to be a solid one to watch as well if they can get their situation addressed in Oakland. For my top 10, I had old reliable of the San Francisco 49ers, Joe Staley. Again, like we said earlier, he's been getting it done. Now he has kind of it kind of feels like his play has dipped quite a bit, but he's actually, if you watch the film, he's still athletic. He's a good left tackle, rangy. He's got good footwork. A lot of issues with the 49ers have been the quarterback situation. I mean, Brian Hoyer and C.J. Beathard, they're not exactly going to put any fear in anybody, in their defenses at least. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, I said last week on my quarterbacks countdown, he's not a top 10 just yet. I want to see him do it more. I want to see more from him than just 7 games. But he's definitely one of those quarterbacks to watch. To watch. He's definitely one of those quarterbacks to keep an eye on. He needs to watch. No, he's definitely one of those quarterbacks to watch. WATCH, like to watch. What time is it?
Dirty. He's a dirty player. You better watch him.
And his style of play, I think, is going to translate to Joe Staley looking better as well. All right, here's top 9. Taylor Decker, Detroit Lions, was on my list. Second-year man, sophomore. Last year he started on injured reserve, came back in week 10, and you could instantly see the difference in the Lions when Taylor Decker Taylor Decker made his return. He's great at run blocking as well as pass blocking. He's got a great, lean frame. He's got great footwork, especially for such a young player. You got to remember, this is a guy that was in his sophomore year last year. No sophomore slump for Taylor Decker. He jumps all the way up to number 9 on the left tackles list. 8, Jake Matthews of the Atlanta Falcons. He's basically, they took a risk drafting him high in the 2014 season, and he's paid off. 2014, 2015, he was looking meh. He was looking like a bit of a bust, taken too high. 2016, you could tell he definitely worked in the offseason, improving his kick ability, his hand blocking ability. He made significant jumps from 2014 and 2015 to 2016, was a big reason why the Atlanta Falcons made the Super Bowl where they choked 28-3. But I'm just saying. Just got to get that 28-3 out of the way there. It'll never die. And he got even better in 2017. He surrendered 3 quarterback sacks, just like Jamel said. And yeah, he helped with a 4.3 yard per carry average for the running game for Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. There's a reason why he is on this top 10 list. He's smart. He uses a low base. He doesn't get knocked off his feet very often. The only thing is it's a little bit watchful. You got to watch with him is his footwork. It seems a bit choppy when he's trying to drop back or when he's trying to go in motion. Number 7 for me was Taylor Lewan of the Tennessee Titans. That dude is basically a beast. He's had 4 seasons now. Definitely a top 10 left tackle. He just brings it. He's got passion, physicality. He moves runners. He moves block defenders, excuse me. He's gotten better. He was already a great run blocker when he first came in, and now he's improved in his passing. Number 6, I have Trent Williams of the Washington Redskins. This is a guy who's been around, I think, since the 2019. I think since the 2009 draft. I want to say it was 2009. And he's basically been getting it done. Left tackle pretty much since the get-go. Just like a Jordan Gross, just like a Joe Thomas. They basically threw him in the deep water and said, sink or swim, Taylor, or Trent Williams. And he's been swimming ever since he was drafted. Last year, he had a serious patella knee injury that did require off-season surgery. But even in 2017, in his 10 games he played, still getting the job done for the Redskins. I do think that a bit of that had to do with Kirk Cousins, who is now a Minnesota Viking. He's got a quick release. He's not going to get tackled very often. He's a lot like a Tom Brady. The guy gets the ball out of his hands quickly. It results in less sacks, makes the line look better than it actually is, what have you. But a lot of that also is Trent Williams. He's just size, power, techniques, physicality. He's still one of the top left tackles in the NFL. For number 6, I have Jason Peters from the Philadelphia Eagles. Even at his older age, getting it off, getting it done. Got hurt in 2017 season with ACL and an MCL tear in week 7 against, ironically, the Washington Redskins. Even in spite of that injury, I think he's going to come. I think he's going to bounce right back this year. Like I mentioned earlier, him as well as right tackle of the Eagles, Lane Johnson, both of those are top 10 left tackle, right tackle. Probably a very big reason why the Philadelphia Eagles made the Super Bowl and won it. All right, I think I'm up to number 4 now. Number 4, Dallas Cowboys, Tyron Smith, Dallas Cowboys. This is a guy pretty much came into the league. Dallas Cowboys said, look, you're our left tackle. You're our guy. Play. Start. And he did. And he's been a top left tackle ever since his draft. He was never quite healthy this past season. And I think that's a lot of the reason why the Dallas Cowboys seem to struggle a bit. He was injured pretty much immediately, as well as Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game suspension. I don't think that helped. But, yeah, Tyron Smith has pretty much always been able to take a defensive end, the right end of the defense, and kind of put him on an island, handle him on his own. And you saw that with the Dallas Cowboys O-line. They regressed big time when he got hurt. I think he's going to come back strong this year. I don't think he's quite the injured guy. I think he's going to make people remember that he's a top left tackle in the NFL. I think the run game of the Dallas Cowboys is going to improve. I still think they're overmatched where they are. I don't think that's going to change. With the Giants on the rise, the Eagles at the top already. I think the Dallas Cowboys are kind of going to be an also-ran in the league this year. But I think they are going to be a little bit better than they were last year at the same point. And he's going to have a lot to do with that. For the number 3, Andrew Whitworth of the LA Rams. He had a shot to be an MVP, I think. If you would give an offensive lineman an MVP, he'd have a shot at it, I think, because ever since he came over to the Los Angeles Rams, he's basically been the bedrock of their offensive line. He's basically been their boulder to lean on with the passing game, the running game. Cincinnati, the Bengals screwed up letting Andrew Whitworth leave. He already had 179 starts in the NFL. He was already established, and now he's basically jumped up to an even higher ranking in his career. With the Bengals, he was always a top, maybe 11, 12, 13 kind of guy. But with the Rams, with that O-line, with the run game to help Todd Gurley get off to the play he's had this year, he's jumped up solidly in the top 3 left tackles in the NFL. Number 2, old reliable Joe Thomas. Even though that team has had even though that team has had a horrible, I don't even know how to put it. 0-16 really says it all. That's a level of ineptitude few teams have ever seen. I think the Detroit Lions are another one that saw that in 2008. Going 0-16. They're just Joe Thomas is probably the best player for the Cleveland Browns. And I think that him being gone, retired now, the Cleveland Browns, I think, are going to have some trouble replacing Joe Thomas. And like I said, I think Joe Thomas is a guy who's got a shot at the Hall of Fame because a bad team, of course, granted, he was definitely with a bad team for pretty much his entire career. The Browns were a team that pretty much didn't go anywhere. They've pretty much always been an also-ran. It makes you wonder, had Joe Thomas left the Browns, where he would have gone, and maybe he'd have a ring by now. You'll never know because he stayed with the Browns. He was loyal to the Browns throughout his entire career. He's retired now. So I guess in a way you could say he doesn't even belong on this list. But you got to give him credit for it. You got to give him credit for his 2017 season as well as his career. And we're not just talking about a great season. He's pretty much at the top from the very beginning. I mean, the dude never missed a snap in his first 10 years with the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And then an injury against the Tennessee Titans. You got to give him credit. He is retired at this point. He's definitely earned that vacation. This dude was great at run blocking, great at pass blocking, had good speed, great agility, was great at screen blocking as well. They should have done that more with the Browns, honestly, especially with their 24 quarterbacks taken since the 2000 season. But yeah, Joe Thomas is definitely at the top. And I think everyone would say David Bakhtiari, number 1. Like I mentioned when Jamel said his name, 9th tackle taken in the NFL draft of 2013. Pretty much been solid. He was a 4th-round pick, started as a left tackle straight away, and he's never been replaced. He was pretty solid as a rookie. And over 2016, 2017, he's really upped his game as a pass blocker. He's now become the best left tackle in the NFL. From the ninth tackle taken in the 2013 draft to the best left tackle in the NFL, David Bakhtiari, number 1, going into 2018. All right, James, do you want to go ahead and say your list? Or?
Yeah, I'll run through it. I mean, like I said, I just kind of threw all mine on a list together.
All right, so do you just want us to wait until we get to the end of all the different O-line rankings and then let you do yours then?
I mean, you've basically done tackles, and most of the ones I've got listed are left tackles.
All right. In that case,
with the exception of Lane Johnson.
Yeah, Lane. Well, Lane Johnson, like I said, right tackle, solid. I believe he's probably top 3. And it.
Yeah, I've got him at number 2 on mine.
All right, I'm just morbidly curious. I want to hear where Nate Solder is on your list.
Number 3.
Just was morbid curiosity. I had to know where the Patriot is on your list.
I mean, I don't get how you name all these other left tackles, yet you forget the guy who held down the left side of the Patriots line.
I was going to say Soldier, but it's better.
I mean, I will agree, there are better tackles, but
he's definitely he's like 11. You know what I'm saying?
I give him a little bit more credit than that. I mean, then again, I know a little bit of the backstory of why he's missed some games, and yeah, he did have an injury.
Mm-hmm. But he is a beast, though. Definitely credit where credit is due. Because I had him on my list and took him off, had him on. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. He was one of those guys you kind of wanted to put him on, but then you're like, well, nah, this guy was a little bit better.
I'm going to put him there. I mean.
Yeah, but you're also a Patriot homer. Let's get that out of the way.
Call me what you want. I think he's a good player. I mean, he's your idealistic left tackle. But yeah, my number 1 is basically everybody else's number 1. David Bakhtiari.
I had Whitworth as 1.
Well, I have David Bakhtiari.
I had him as 3, and Joe as 2, and then Whitworth as 1.
I see. It's just like with the quarterbacks. There's the top 3 almost seem like they could be interchangeable. For one person, this guy might be better because he might pass block better. For the other guy, maybe his contributions to the run game gives him a little bit more. For Bakhtiari, a lot of it had to do with just where he started. It's kind of like the Tom Brady for me. I mean, the 9th tackle taken, and now he's become so damn good. It's almost like Andrew Norwell for the Carolina Panthers, now the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's like the same story. He was a guy who went unfreaking drafted, comes to the Panthers after being on the Rams and I think and I want to say the Vikings. I'm not totally sure on that right now. And he blows it up with the NFL. He blows it up with the Panthers and becomes one of the top guards of the NFL. That I kind of tend to give them a little bit more credit because of considering how they started to where they became. At least that for me for Bakhtiari. Otherwise, I'd probably have Joe Thomas as the number 1 just because of his entire career, his solidity.
Yeah, I was going to put him as number 1, but he retired, so I'll put him at 2.
Yeah, the Browns, as if they didn't already have it tough enough, coming off an 0-16 season. Now they've got, I believe, the 5th toughest schedule in the NFL in the league this year. Now they've lost their franchise left tackle.
But they got enough pieces to make up for it, I believe.
You think they have enough pieces to make up for the loss of left tackle of All-Pro? Oh, hell.
Yeah.
I don't even say All-Pro. This is a guy you can say an All-Madden left tackle.
Right. But they drafted a guard and they signed one in a free agent.
Yeah, they were definitely smart this year addressing the offensive line. I believe they took Josh Sitton from the Green Bay Packers as well. That was a smart move on their part.
They're definitely going to protect Baker.
All right, so we had
to get him there.
All right, so we had our top left tackles in the NFL. Do you want to move on to right tackles, or should we hit guards next?
Let's go and hit them guards.
All right, big love to the big Hog Mollies on this episode, like we called the show Hog Molly Love. Do you want to do your top 10 of guards first, or you want me to take the lead on this one? Or
Yeah, go ahead, take the lead.
all right, let me bring up my list here. Number 10 guard. This one I have is guards, not left guard and right guard, like I was saying. Sorry about that. For guards, you got to give it to the Rams. Roger Saffold of the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Just a lot of improvements. I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't because he was healthy, because before their new O-line coach came to the Rams this past year, Roger Saffold was starting to look pretty damn inconsistent. But this past year, jumped up. He's improved his pass block. He's improved his run blocking. You know, when they took him in the 2010 draft, they saw that he was quick. He had good agility. Now he's improved on his footwork. He's improved on his strength. He can push defenders back even better. And I think they got Todd Gurley as well. Oh, yeah, Todd. It makes it easier for Todd Gurley to blow up. Yeah, you could definitely see Aaron Cromer, their offensive line coach. You could definitely tell he worked in the room. He worked on film. He worked on footwork with Roger Saffold of the Rams. This past season became pretty damn apparent. Just a huge jump up in the rankings. I had Roger Saffold as I think he was 21st or 22nd last year. And he just jumped up in the rankings. And a lot of that's got to do with Todd Gurley as well. Before I jump into the rest of that, I wanted to name a few guards as well to keep an eye on. One of those guards is, where did I have this? Kevin Zeitler of the Cleveland Browns. He had a slow start in the 2017 season. And plus, Joe Thomas's injury as well. I think Kevin Zeitler is really going to help the O-line of the Browns improve. He's going to have to take some steps forward in his sophomore season, though. But he's already a very solid guard in the NFL, even as a rookie. Shaq Mason of the New England Patriots is another one I have here on the list now. And these are players that had not been drafted. Otherwise, I would have Isaiah Wynn on here as well as a guard to watch in the NFL. Pretty much the Patriots, they're going to be able to run the ball better with this set of guards they got, both Shaq Mason as well as Isaiah Wynn. Say what?
I hear my team being talked about.
Yeah, I'm saying that both Shaq Mason and Isaiah Wynn are guards to watch for the NFL next year.
I had Shaq at 10.
I have Shaq on my list.
Shaq was number 12 on mine. He's definitely one to watch, so I mentioned his name. And because of him, I also have Isaiah Wynn. Isaiah Wynn, though, I didn't really have him on ones to watch because he didn't play in the NFL last year. But I think he's really going to help improve that run game, especially with the PlayStation, Sony and Michelle going to the Patriots. I don't think they're going to miss Dion Lewis that much. I think they're just going to keep on trucking. Patriots are going to continue their dominance in the AFC East, and it is what it is, I guess you could say. But both guards are ones to watch for the Patriots.
Y'all will soon be rid of us.
The evil empire. For number 9, I've got Brandon Scherf for the Washington Redskins. This is another guy who's been solid, has been doing it pretty much since he started. He's got good hands. He places his punches well. He's got a good technical mind game. Really a bit of a cerebral player, I guess you could say. He doesn't have the best balance and foot speed, but he's a very solid worker. Uses good footwork. He keeps a low base. He's very good against quick players like a Von Miller, a Beasley. He's very good against players like that to rely on their speed rather than their power. For number 8, Colicchio Simile of the Oakland Raiders. And that was a huge loss for the team that let him go last year. Kaliki Assimile, man, that name is hard to say. He's always been pretty damn solid. And then he comes to the Oakland Raiders, and he is just a freak, pure powerhouse, 6'5", 330 pounds. He's got good arm length. He's got play strength. He's just strong. If you try to come at him, he's going to put you on your ass. That's straight talk. Now, their offensive line, it did fall back quite a bit in the rankings in 2017, but Assimile as well as Gabe Jackson are still some of the top guards of the NFL, especially a left guard. He's really hard for defenders to come through, and he really helps the left tackle Donald Penn as well. Donald Penn was the guy who damn near made my list at left tackle, and I think that a lot had to do with this pairing. Assimile as well as Penn together. It was really hard to get to the blind side of Derek Carr. For number 7, Josh Sitton of the Chicago Bears. This is the guy who you could see it. Josh Sitton, when he was hurt, the Bears did not move the ball very well. They didn't pass the ball very well. They didn't run the ball very well, especially in the run game. He's one of the top guards in the run game. He's really good at run blocking. Very physical player. He's got a smash mouth mentality. He wants to push you on your ass, so to speak. He's still a top player, even 10 years in the league, drafted in 2010, drafted in the 2008 draft. He uses his mind. He's very cerebral, bit of a cerebral assassin, you might say, but mixed with that power as well. He's learned how to use leverage to put people down when they try to rush their quarterback. In this case being Mitch Trubisky. For number 5, I have Ronald Leary of the Denver Broncos, and he really helps. He's really going to help that run game for the Denver Broncos, especially bringing in Chubb as well. They did, or no, they didn't bring in Chubb. They did bring in Chubb, but that's defensive. Excuse me, but he was.
Browns got Chubb.
Yeah, that's right. Browns got Chubb. Broncos got the other Chubb, the big Chubb.
They're related, though. Did you know that?
I did not know that. How are they related?
Yeah, I think they're cousins.
Distant cousins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Denver Broncos. He was a guy who was a great player for the Dallas Cowboys in the 2016 season. Comes over to the Denver Broncos. You can instantly see the difference. So what, man?
I said, I know who you better have as number 1, though. The best in the league right now, even though he's gone.
That being Andrew Norwell.
You got it.
Yeah. Right now we're still at number 5. I think this is.
Yeah, I know.
Number 5. You jumping me. You jumping the gun on me, man.
Just making sure, man. Don't be trying to do up with it.
Nah, I can't hate on Andrew Norwell, even if he took the big money to become a Jaguar. He's definitely up in the top 5.
Oh yeah, bro. He's number 1 in my book. He's one of the best. He's one of the best out there, man. That's why he got paid.
Yeah. Ronald Leary, though, the same for the Denver Broncos. Good footwork, has quick feet. I think a lot of these top guys you're going to see, they have good footwork, good pass blocking ability. Number 4, I've got Joe Bitonio with the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland.
Well, hey, for a while they had one of the best guards and one of the best left tackles in the NFL.
No, man. They just kept getting them quarterbacks hurt.
2016 got hurt maybe, I believe it was week 6, week 7 possibly. came back for the Browns. 2017, he was a tackle in college. They made him a guard. They kicked him inside, and his hand technique has been getting better and better. Now he's among the league's best at left guard. I think he's going to be a top-tier guard as well. He saw no remnants from that foot injury that he had in 2016. It was like he shook it off, like that damn Taylor Swift song. He shook it off. A lot of, I think, the Browns' issues on offense had to do with Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you throw a rookie into the fire, and he clearly wasn't ready. They decided to get rid of him, trade him away to the Green Bay Packers. I believe it was for Hundley. They made a Hundley for Kaiser trade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that again with Tyrod Taylor coming for the Browns, I don't think they're going to have as much trouble.
He's going to take him there.
So what?
Tyrod's going to take him there, but Baker is going to finish him off.
I think it would be smart for Baker Mayfield to sit for a while. Let the quarterback.
Oh, he's going to sit.
I mean, he was taken at number one.
He's going to get some playtime this year.
He was taken at number one. So, I mean, I know a lot of fans have that grits mentality where you want to throw the rookie quarterback, the top draft pick, into the fire. But I think that would be a hell of a mistake for the Browns to do that.
14, you might see Baker, man.
Do you think that would be through performance or because of an injury to Tyrod Taylor?
It would be like Tyrod would have like a bad game. Not an awful game, but he'll have like a bad game. And they'll be like, let's see how Baker doing. We got an all right record.
Hey,
he's
Josh.
going to show out in preseason.
Yeah, you see the man cave in the background. See the autographed Panther jersey. See the Cam Newton Pro Bowl jersey. There's only 200 of those in existence.
Hey, man, we can't even see you on Skype, brother.
Oh, I'm using my Facebook. I'm using my PC. I'm using my PC to do the live video. I've never been able to do this before, man. The new place I moved to, the internet is so much damn faster. I can't even believe it. I've been having to use data on my phone, using live videos to produce the show up to this point, up to just last week. But the internet is so improved at this new place, I can do it straight from my PC. Couldn't believe it. Blew my mind being able to do it last week.
I'm going to click on the stream right now.
You want to see the man cave, huh? I'll move out of the way so you can see it in all its glory.
I'm on the laptop too. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Got that number 3 out there looking real clean next to that Newton.
Can you see? Can you see the number 3 jersey?
Yeah, I see the number 3.
Can you see what's on it?
I see that Outland on there.
Oh, I see that, but do you see the other names written on it?
You can't read them, but you can see them.
I'm going to have to take a picture at some point and put it on Facebook, but there's like 20 Pro Bowlers from the 2015 season on that jersey, including your boy Jay Node.
Yeah, you can see his son. You just can't see the names. It's too far away.
Yeah. I wish I could figure out a way to make it closer. I'm trying to save up now. My jersey case got smashed during the move, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to get up and save up for another one to have it properly framed. But I'm very proud of that. There was like 20 Pro Bowler in it. 20 Pro Bowlers. Pretty much all the Pro Bowlers from the 2015 season signed that jersey when I went to a practice back in 2015. Very proud of that.
Yeah.
I even got Ricky Pro to sign that damn thing.
Hey.
But Moving on, sorry about that. Showing off the man cave. Got off track. Got off kilter. Number 4, I think I was at.
Yeah.
Was number 4. Joe Bitonio of the Cleveland Browns is my number 4. Top 3. You're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
Trey Turner actually did not make this list.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he definitely had a bit of a step back between 2016 and 2017. Still one of the ones to watch, I think. He's still one of those guards to keep an eye on. But Trey Turner took a step back in pass blocking this past year. Wasn't quite the same, wasn't quite as dominant as he had been. I'm wondering if he wasn't playing injured myself, because that was just a huge drop-off between the 2014 season, the 2015 season, and now to what he was this past year. For number 3, I got Brandon Brooks of the Philadelphia Eagles. Came over to the Philadelphia Eagles 2016. Pretty damn underrated up to this point. I think getting to the Super Bowl kind of thrust his name into the limelight. He's getting his time in the light, so to speak. Burning my light. I don't know if anyone remembers old Randy Orton song. It's like,
hey,
yeah, that one. Now it's time to shine. I'm gonna take his mind. Orton Buzz. Damn it, I missed that Randy Orton. All right, this is, as you can see, neither one of us have a singing voice. He's got a better singing voice than I do. I don't sing and dance, you know. But Brandon Brooks.
Randy.
Do what?
That's the Coke Randy when he was on that Coke.
You know what? I liked Coke Randy. I liked him better than the Randy Orton that talks like this with everything that I say. I like the dynamic Randy Orton. But anyways, he's getting his time in the limelight, so to speak, is Brandon Brooks. Thrust up, you know, he was always underrated. Now he's getting his time to shine, so to speak, since getting the Eagles to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. He's not a pure power player. He uses his footwork and he uses his arms and his mind to get the job done. He does have, you know, you would think as big as he is, that he would be a bulldozer, that he would use his power, but instead he uses his mind, he uses leverage. He's a very cerebral style player. Doug Peters' offense has a lot to do with that. There has to do everything from man-on-man power as well as zone reads, and he excelled at both of those, especially working with a quarterback that could run like Carson Wentz or even a Cam Newton. The guards have to be even more alert because they have to have an even deeper understanding of run blocking and pass blocking. When you're working with a quarterback that goes mobile, you can lose track of him at any moment. Brooks did pretty damn well. He's got good power, gets to the second level pretty well, pushes blockers out of the way, defenders, puts them on their ass. Yeah, you got to give that credit to Brandon Brooks. For number 2, I've got Zach Martin of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
And it's funny seeing this. Zach Martin of the Dallas Cowboys. It's amazing seeing that. I remember when he was drafted and people said that he was a reach. Ironically, they said that also with their center, who's also a top center in the NFL. But I remember before the Dallas Cowboys had this O-line, this doomsday O-line they put together, I don't remember how many times I saw NFL pundits pan their picks at O-line in the first round. They would say they're a reach, they're not there, they should have been drafted in the second and the third and the fourth round, but now they have one of the best O-lines in the NFL. It just goes to show, if there's a player you really want and you really think he is as good as advertised, you take him no matter what round it is and let the people talk. Zach Martin, he's been consistent. He's been pretty damn good ever since he started. This past year, he's improved on his consistency. In the past, he would he'd kind of take games off, so to speak. He'd have dominant stretches, and then he'd have a game or two where he was just kind of, you could see he's kind of going through the motions, not taking it seriously. This year, even in spite of the bad performance by the Dallas Cowboys this past year, Zach Martin's still getting the job done. He was dominant in the run game, dominant in the pass game. I think that's really all you can say about that. He's nasty. He wants to put you into another stratosphere if he hits you. He doesn't just want to put you on the turf. It's like that movie, The Blind Side, where you see Michael Orr gets pissed off at that racist redneck when they're playing, and he pushes him all the way back when he's running, puts him through puts him outside of the touchdown wall. That's like what he reminds me of. He doesn't just want to put you down. He wants to throw you back 10 yards while he's run blocking. And yeah, Jamel, you already kind of.
That's right.
You already kind of. How's the word? You kind of gave it away. Damn it, you spoiler! You.
That's right.
I do have Andrew Norwell.
I thought she was going to throw one more. Then you had me nervous.
No, I could not do that to Andrew Norwell. It sucks that he left the Carolina Panthers. It hurts that he left. He got paid this year from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm just glad he didn't go to the Giants like it looked like he was going to. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars, it looked like he was a foregone conclusion that he was leaving the Panthers, going to go to the Giants, reunite with Dave Gettleman, and then Jacksonville comes out of nowhere with a big contract and swoops them up.
They said, we got that money. Don't forget.
Do what?
Jacksonville said, we got that money too. Don't forget.
Well, Jacksonville, they also have a better O-line. I think Andrew Norwell is going to be able to continue his dominance in Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville is hot right now.
Yeah, well, they had to get something right at some point, right? I mean, all these, it's just like the Bucks, it's just like the Browns. If you keep picking at the top all these years, eventually you're going to start hitting on them damn draft picks. You're going to start getting stars. And I think that's the case here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now they've been bad for so long that now they've got good at every spot. And plus, a lot of that you also got to give credit is good scouting. I mean, I remember 2016, I think it was, Miles Jack. He was one of the best linebackers in college for the draft, but he was injured. All these different teams that could have used a linebacker, they didn't want to take him because he wasn't going to play his first season. Jacksonville's like, screw it. We're already bad enough. What good is another season going to do? They take him, and now you see what happens. It's like grits, or it's like collard greens. They let it simmer, they let it cook, and now the Jacksonville Jaguars have one of the best defenses in the NFL because of that. Same thing, the O-line. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they've improved, and now they improved even more taking Andrew Norwell from my Panthers. Again, whenever you consider the fact that he was an undrafted player, I believe he was on his third team when he came to the Carolina Panthers in the 2014 season. Ended up becoming an instant starter when we brought him in the middle of the season. And he hasn't relinquished it.
Yeah, bro, we got pretty much the same exact list on that one.
Unfortunately, the Panthers are kind of in a bad spot. Looking back now, I got to ask you as a Panther fan, would you rather have kept Andrew Norwell or would you have rather have kept Trey Turner?
Norwell. I wanted Norwell to stay.
And also, do you think that Taylor Moton has a shot to replicate Andrew Norwell's left guard?
No. He'll be good, but he's not going to be Norwell good.
Okay. I've been kind of afraid of that myself. But I think the time is coming to see what Taylor Moton can do. We've seen him. Yeah. We've seen him. He's a beast at guard, actually. He was in a jumbo package with the Panthers this past couple of years, they've started a jumbo package where they would have they would take away their right tackle, and instead they would play a third guard. And we actually got to see Taylor Moton line up at guard. And I remember the play they ran that in. They got a massive gain on the ground. So he could be someone to watch for the Panthers in the future.
Don't forget about your boy Armageddon.
Arma. That's fullbacks. You know what's sad? I don't even think we were able to find like a top 10 fullbacks list for this show last week.
Well, I'm saying, like, you know, he's going to be using him as a blocker. You know, the lead blocks.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That would make a lot of damn sense that they did use him for the lead block. Well, all the time last year, I'm watching Panthers games, and I'm like, why the hell is Alex Armand not suited up? Why are y'all not playing him now?
Right.
Why are y'all running the ball straight up off tackle rather than running behind a fullback that has that mentality and wants to hit people?
Yeah, let Armand clear the way and let McCaffrey and Anderson go ham on him.
All right, so yeah, we got it out of the way. Top guard in the NFL, I do have Andrew Norwell. Even in spite of telling the Panthers, hey, I want the money, show me the money, the Panthers couldn't do it, and he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm not going to snub the man. He's definitely earned that ranking. He's earned this spot. And I think that even in the guards in the NFL, you're going to find that my Andrew Norwell, it might be your Brandon Brooks, or your David DeCastro. David DeCastro was another one that was right near the top of this list that I wanted, but I decided I'm going to put him on the ones to watch, kind of the 11, the 12. I actually got to say, now that I'm looking back at the list, David DeCastro probably should have made the top 10.
You talking about with the Steelers?
Yeah, David DeCastro of the Steelers. Now that I'm looking back over the list, I'm pretty sure I should have put him in there.
I had him at 3.
Now I'm trying to figure out who I would eliminate. And at this point, I'm thinking it'd probably been Ronald Leary of the Broncos.
Yeah.
All right, James, go ahead and tell us your left tackles, left guards, right guards, etc.
Well, we already went through my tackles, basically. And from what I heard, y'all basically touched on everyone I have under guards.
All right. Okay.
I mean, the only people, I mean, I didn't really hear it mentioned, which, I mean, y'all, Turner and all that, you hit all the other ones that I basically have.
Well, Turner definitely fell from grace this past year. You said Marshall Yonda?
Yeah.
He was my 14th one. He was my 14th guard.
Yeah, I have Marshall Yonda pretty up high on mine. And then a little bit of home love for my team. I think Joe Tooney's pretty good.
Joe Tooney.
Yeah, Tooney.
He's one to watch, I think.
And then besides Mason, I put Trent Brown.
So, from a Patriots fan, who do you think is going to be your starting guards then?
Isaiah Wynn, Joe Tooney, or Isaiah Wynn's going to be flipped to left tackle. Trent Brown and Joe Tooney.
Okay.
Shaq Mason.
Do you think that Isaiah Wynn can play left tackle?
I think he can do whatever he wants. Then again, that's my opinion.
All righty.
I've studied the film on him. He looks like he's a pretty athletic player.
Yeah, Joe Tooney, he was actually one to watch too. That's a dude who played great as a rookie. I mean, he was a rookie this past year, and he looked pretty damn solid at guard as well.
This was his sophomore season.
That's right. It is the sophomore season, excuse me.
His rookie year was 28-3.
All right.
Still got another 28-3 in there.
It's never gonna die. It'll never die. All right, Jamel, I'm gonna let you get us started on centers.
On the mother centers. Let's see. Hold on, I got a almost. Centers is kind of. A lot of people can go in centers the way it's cranking out. But let's see. That's my guard. Just did those. Receiver. All right. Here we go. All right, so yeah, at number 10, I got your boy Eric Wood from Buffalo.
Eric Wood, Buffalo Bills. Or as James likes to call him, the Hot Wings.
And then I got your boy from Baltimore at number 9, Ryan Jensen.
Ryan Jensen. Why do you have Ryan Jensen where you have him?
Just because Flacco was getting smacked up.
I just wanted to hear too. I've actually got Ryan Jensen, I think, at my number 8. He's on my number 8. So
yeah, I mean, he was all right. You know what I'm saying? But Flacco was getting smacked up, and they wasn't really running the ball like that. Like, Baltimore's threat was on defense. They don't really have a threat on offense like that.
Well, if we're being honest here, the Baltimore Ravens have pretty much always been about defense. I mean, when you think about the Ravens that won the Super Bowl, do you think about the offense led by Trent Dilfer, or do you think about the defense with freaking Ray Lewis and dominating the Giants?
Right. But now that they got your boy Lamar, they might. I think he's going to definitely get some play time this year too.
All right, go ahead with the rest of your list, man. Didn't mean to interrupt
what was
you.
That was 9. So number 8, I showed some New England love with David Andrews.
James, he said a Patriot. You want to talk about him?
I can. I mean, David Andrews is a good player.
Yeah. And then number 7, I had John Sullivan with the Rams at number 7, tag teaming with Whitworth.
Say that again.
I had your boy from the Rams, John Sullivan, tag teaming with Whitworth.
All right.
And then let's see what we at. 6.
I don't think he made my top 10 actually. Huh.
6.
Oh, he did. Number 9. Excuse me. He did.
Let's see. We on 6 or we on 6? 6. I got Brandon Linder from the Jags.
Yeah, they just have improved that entire offensive line.
Right.
I wonder if he had a lot to do with Leonard Fournette's performance this past year.
Yeah, that too. And he could tie with Matt Paris, Pariah, whatever his name is, from the Broncos. If anything, I might do a
Matt
Paradis.
Paradis.
I might put Linder at 5 and Paralis at 6. Because Fournette did go beast mode on him.
All right, you can do that if you want to.
4.
That would put you at 4.
Yeah, 4. I'm gonna go with Alex Mack with the Falcons.
Alex Mack. Yeah, I had Alex Mack in my top. I believe he was my number 3. Looking at my list, he's at my number 3. Can't give him, can't hate.
Yeah.
Went over for the Browns where he was already solid, and now he's even better with the Atlanta Falcons. He really helped solidify their running game.
Right. And my number 3, I had Jason Kelsey with the Eagles.
All right.
And then
all right, for your top 3, I want you to explain what made you put them there at your top.
Well, actually, I'm putting Kelsey. I want to put him at 1, to be honest, just because of what they did,
winning the Super Bowl.
You know,
I guess it's hard to argue with that because, and you know what, Kelsey definitely had a lot to do with that. So I guess I could understand you doing that. I had him as my number 4 center, but I could see where you would put him in the top because of winning the Super Bowl. That's got a lot to do with that. But if he hadn't won the Super Bowl,
he had to play with 2 quarterbacks, Foles and Wentz. You know what I'm saying? He had to switch up.
You got a good point there, actually. They got 2 different playing styles as well.
Right. So I definitely give him credit for that. At number 1, and then number 2, I'll throw in Rodney Hudson from the Raiders with Carr.
All right. Reasoning behind that one.
And then, just because Carr gets it done, man. He just, I don't know. Last year he didn't do too bad, but he didn't do good, but he didn't do bad. It was all right. Marshawn did a little bit. He wasn't really beast mode, but he had some stints. But now that they got Gruden, he should definitely change Oakland around.
I've been meaning to ask you about that. Like, what was your opinion on Gruden going to the Oakland Raiders? He hasn't coached in over about a decade.
That's what I like about
He hasn't coached in about a decade now.
It's like he's going to be doing old school coaching, but to them that's new. So it's like today's world. The new is old. Old is now the new. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
People going back to what we was doing back in the day. They're coming out with old movies, redoing them. Pokemon Go, for example. That's old, but they redid it. So I think it might be good, man. Sometimes you got to go back to square one, back to the basics, with a little bit of new. You know what I'm saying? He's still gonna have some of that new school in there. But I believe he's gonna do some wonders. And I think Worley is over there, ain't
he? You think who?
Worley. I think Worley ended up signing with them.
Yeah, first to the Eagles, then to the Raiders.
Yeah, got arrested. Yeah, they signed him.
All right. From my top 10 centers, got to give a little bit of divisional love to the Bucks. But before that, here were some centers I had. Ben Jones of the Titans. This guy was my number 11. I was so close to putting him on the list, but I just couldn't figure out who to bounce off in order to put him on there. Ben Jones, This is a guy, smash mouth, pure power. He relies on power. He likes to overpower defenders.
But he's good.
He needs to improve his awareness and pass protection. That's what's kept him from being a top 10 player, a top 10 center.
I'm like, he's good at the run game, but
he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony. He's damn good in run, but a center is also called upon to be a pass blocker as well, and he struggles in that a bit. He needs to improve his pass protection.
And that's what Mariota got to take off. That's what he got to struggle.
All right. For another one I like to keep an eye on that could be in the top 10 in an even year, Marquise Pouncey of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2017, he actually didn't surrender a single direct sack. I mean, he damn near made my list, especially for especially helping out Le'Veon Bell. He almost made my list. His problem is that his technique needs to be more advanced. He relies more on power than actual technical ability, and that's the clear weakness of his. At the same time, Le'Veon Bell had holes because Marquise Pouncey created them holes. One of y'all are generating some static.
That might be me. Let me get my mic. I think that was my mic.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned Eric Wood. You had him in your top 10. I had him as my 13th. Bounce back year. He got a leg injury in 2016. Has great upper strength body. His problem is he can't win one-on-one. And he doesn't use his leverage. Those are his weaknesses that keep him from being a top 10 center. You're going to be shocked that Ryan Khalil actually did not make this list either. He's definitely in his...
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say it. Ryan Khalil, the past couple of years, he's showing his age.
He's not top 10.
He fell out of the top 10 for me.
He's good, but he's not top 10. He's barely top 20.
Which is a shame. And I don't think Linder's the answer there either. I think you're going to see the Panthers drafting O-line really early in the next few years.
We have to, man. We have to.
All right, number 10, I got to give some divisional love here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Ali Marpet. He became... Hey, you know what? The Bucs made a top 10 at some line, at somewhere, you know? Besides wide receiver, Mike Evans was on that list for sure. I think I had him as my fourth wide receiver or fifth one. Ali Marpet, this is a guy who came in for 2016 for the Bucs, was pretty much solid at guard right away. He became a solidified position at guard for the Buccaneers. Then they decided to move him over to center last year. He had a few games where he had some bumps. It took him a while to get used to playing center, having to defend the entire line rather than guard on the side. But he really improved. Became a solid center. I had to put him top 10 with that. He has great physical ability. He's using his mind. He's improving his footwork. He's improving his mechanics, his technique. I think he's going to be a top 5 center. Say what?
I said that's why I put Wood at 10. I looked at him on the Bucs, but like I said with that other guy, those slow starts, man, that's going to hurt you.
Regina Everett, sorry, I just saw your comment. How do I see the Panthers' performance for the year? I see 10-6, 11-5 as the floor. I've looked over the rosters of our team. I've looked over rosters of the teams we're playing. I don't think a 10-6, 11-5 season is out of them. Say that again, man.
We're We're going 12-4, 13-3.
That was my ceiling for the Panthers, was 12-4, 13-3. I don't see them being any lower than 10-6. I honestly cannot. That's including them dropping a game to a team that they should beat, even including them having one of those stinker games. I do not see it. I'll say this too. I don't think that they get swept by the Saints either. I think it's going to be a split. Carolina wins in Carolina. Nolans wins in Nolans.
The Saints this year.
You think we're going to sweep the Saints?
We're sweeping the Saints this year. The Saints will get swept. Fuck the bullshit.
All right, Jamel seems to think we are going to sweep the Saints. I think they're going to beat us in New Orleans. They have a definite home field advantage playing in New Orleans.
We'll lose to Atlanta before we lose to them again this year.
See, I don't think we're going to lose to Atlanta.
I think week one. Show up.
I think we're playing them week
if
2.
Our secondary don't show. No, we'll get them week 2, but later on in the season.
You mean where Carolina typically plays their best football?
Yeah, man. Think about it. They the one that beat our unbeatable record, 15-1. They don't won in that 15-1.
You got a point there. But I think a lot of that had to do with the Panthers not having Jonathan Stewart. They didn't have a run game. It was just like the Super Bowl. They lost Stewart. They lost their running ability.
And we lost because the time ran out. We had the ball. We was right there. The clock ran out. We got it done. We just couldn't. It was some more other things going on around the time. Like Cam just had his baby. That was the game after fight night with Josh Norman, and it was Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And we still barely lost that game. Remember, that's the year we beat them 35-0 too.
I remember. I was flying on a flight over to Australia for a visit when that game happened, and I was watching the helmet logo. I'm watching this damn game on my phone, watching the helmet logo going across the field. I'm like, can't watch it live, damn it, but I'm still going to watch something. I don't miss games.
Right.
I'll find a way to watch the damn game somehow.
Yeah, I'm buying Game Pass this year. I'm not dealing with the streams because they've been. Even though you can find them, it's just I know they're cracking down this year.
Yeah. All right, I want to get back to talking about centers. Ali Marpet, Buccaneers, he made my number 10. Number 9. Excuse me, my mouse froze up on me. I got Ryan Jensen of the Baltimore Ravens at number 9. Yeah. Flacco and the Ravens offense have issues, but Ryan Jensen put into a vacuum. Just watching the film, watching Ryan Jensen, he had a great season. He has been solidly improving year to year since he debuted in the NFL. He's been getting better and better and better, and now he's become a big piece in the Baltimore Ravens running game. He's basically become the catalyst that makes the Baltimore Ravens move. Excuse me. I don't know who the hell the Baltimore Ravens are. He knows he's got good footwork. He gets quick to block, to defend against the defender coming his way. He uses his leverage. He's mobile. He can get to level. He loves to put a defender down on their ass like that. There's a big reason why, the Ravens, they really struggled. You got to admit that. But Ryan Jensen, watching him in a vacuum, he done his job one-on-one. He, as the Patriots fan in here likes to say, #do your job. Ryan Jensen consistently done his job in 2017. For my 8th center, I've got John Sullivan of the Los Angeles Rams at number 8.
Okay.
I think a lot of it. The Rams I think a lot of it had to do with Andrew Whitworth coming in. They finally got a solid left tackle. But at the same time, John Sullivan also improved at center. You know, before the 2017 season, he looked like he might have been finished in the NFL. He might have been looking retirement. Comes to the Rams, instant starter at center, instant linchpin at center. And he's really helped get that run game of the Rams going. Todd Gurley has had a lot of big holes because of him doing his job. John Sullivan doing his job. Again, this is a guy who uses his size. He's just power. He knows how to use his power, his leverage, push people out of the way, make holes for Todd Gurley to run through. And that's really about all he brings. He doesn't have quite the ability to get to the second level he used to. He doesn't have quite the footwork that he used to when he was younger. That's where we were kind of saying he looked like he was done at playing center. But this past year has been a bit of a career renaissance for him, for John Sullivan. All right, this will put me at number 7.
Yeah.
James, perk up your ears. We got some Patriot love on here. David Andrews of the New England Patriots. Crickets.
I heard David Andrews, and I heard my team again.
You tell us about David Andrews.
Well, I mean, how much of it is Andrews and how much of it is Brady? That's really where it all goes down to. I think he's a phenomenal blocker. He's a solid force in the middle and all that, because how often do you actually see someone get through the front, the middle of the line, and hit Brady?
Right.
Not very often.
Yep.
And a lot of that is, like you said, Brady with his quick release. He evades a lot of sacks because he gets the ball out quickly.
That because the man has no fear. But I have, since we're talking about centers, I have him, let me count. I have him at my 6.
All right.
So, yeah, I do have 10 centers. Not really in any particular order. I mean, I've heard Matt Paredes mentioned, Marquise Pouncey mentioned, Jason Kelsey mentioned, and Alex Mack mentioned.
Yeah.
I'll run through mine real fast if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I have Travis Frederick.
You see, he's another player I was talking about with the Cowboys, where they took him, I want to say they took him number 18 in the draft, and everyone panned the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, you made a mistake. Oh, what a reach. The NFL pundits had a heyday at the Dallas Cowboys' expense. Who the hell's laughing now? The Dallas Cowboys have probably the top O-line in the NFL.
They do. You look up any top O-line in the NFL, any lists, anything, number 1 is the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2 would probably be the Tennessee Titans. And then number 3 would be that Steelers offensive steel curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rank them about the same way, actually.
Number 4 here in recent, the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion. But to me, a lot of that's because of Cam Newton's legs.
Yep. Definitely agree with that.
Agreed. I don't know if I'd have the Panthers O-line ranked at 4. Especially considering who they lost.
But to run through mine, Travis Frederick, Jason Kelsey, Rodney Hudson, Pat Elflein, Marquise Pouncey, David Andrews, Matt Paredes, Max Unger, Brandon Linder, Alex Mack.
And several of those names are on my list as well as Jamel's.
Centers were a little bit easier for me. I was having a hard time finding other lists.
It seems like they kind of
mentions.
smush guards together. It seems like a lot of
push guards
rankings
and
want to put
tackles
guards
together.
and tackles together rather than actually doing the job and looking at the film and actually picking the players. They kind of take the easy way out.
Well, I believe the reason they do that is because if you look at a lot of players, such as, some of the bigger names, how often do you hear, well, this team's starting left guard went down, so they're going to bring their all-star right guard over to left and start some no-name.
You got a point there.
That's probably why, because, you can have a guy who's a shitty right guard come in there and whoop ass as a left guard because if he's against a different pressure. I've seen people, watching the Patriots and that patchwork offensive line that to me seriously needs to be better.
Oh yeah,
for such a Hall of Fame quarterback back there.
Well, a lot of the reason why the Patriots O-line doesn't look as bad is because of Brady and his quick release. He definitely makes that O-line look better than they are.
Yeah, but if you look at when originally Dante Scarnecchio retired as the O-line coach, our O-line suffered. Brady was getting hit a whole lot more. 28-3 year comes, as I like to call it. Dante Scarnecchia is back. And that O-line up, and what did we do? We go to the Super Bowl. Same thing last year. We go and once again go to the Super Bowl. And one of the best Super Bowls I've watched. I'll hold that L and I'll hold it proudly.
It was actually a pretty damn good Super Bowl. To this day, I cannot believe that I cannot believe the Philadelphia Eagles won that Super Bowl. When Tom Brady had the ball in the last 2 minutes, I'm thinking, he's about to break their hearts. He's about to have another MVP drive. They're going to end up naming Tom Brady MVP of this Super Bowl, and I'll be damned if he didn't fumble the ball. First sack of the entire game, I think it was. And it became a sack fumble that sealed it for the Eagles. That blew my damn mind.
Hey, like I've said before, it happens to the best of them. But at least, Robert Kraft went on the sideline celebrating a win. At least that game was close. It could have went either way. It won't have, wake up one team while the other team steamrolls.
No,
the other team basically falls asleep and gets 28-3.
That was a pretty damn solid Super Bowl. Probably one of the top ones of the past years.
I'll be honest, I can't stand a lot of Eagles fans. But I will give them props where props are due. That's the type of fan I am.
All right, moving on here.
I will give a Jets fan a compliment if their team ever does something. The garbage fire that is up there.
Don't get me started on the Jets. Don't get started. Don't bring up waste management. Don't bring up waste management.
Waste management. Y'all crazy.
Well, they share the same color.
All right, here we've been on there.
So
we've been on the air for a little bit.
Tackles in there?
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. We're still at centers. We went over guards, left tackles. We're at centers. I'm going to take a quick break, play a commercial or two, and we'll be back here.
Coming soon, the new wave of hydration and energy drink HIQ. This new product is all natural with no caffeine and gives you a major boost of hydration and energy. No twitching effect or crashing like the old energy drinks. You can visit our website at www.liquidhiq.com or Twitter at HiQ2015 to learn more about this amazing energy drink. What is your level?
If you're right, then just let it go. If you try, then you will
Not sure what was up with that commercial there. We managed to play it through, but it was a little bit choppy. So we're back here. We're giving hog molly love to the big hog mollies. We went over the top left tackles. We went over the top guards in the NFL. Now we're almost through with centers. We've reached the top 5 in the centers here. For number 5, I've got Matt Paradis of the Denver Broncos. Came in 2016. Became even better in 2017. The Denver Broncos O-line took a lot of hits in the 2017 season, and he helped keep that O-line from becoming a trash fire or a dumpster fire, as we just mentioned the Jets and the waste management, as y'all call them. He helped keep the Denver Broncos from becoming the waste management of the AFC West. He's great. And you know what? He might be the top center in the league where it comes to taking out linebackers coming to the second level, getting past the D line and getting to the linebackers. And that, you know what? That's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to doing is the top 10 linebackers in the NFL. That'll be, I think, next week. We'll be getting to that one. Little segue.
Did we do corners yet?
That'll be the one after linebackers, corners, and safeties. Now, I told you, man, we're going to do it all. We're going to play all the O-line, all the D-line, all the safeties. We're even going to do freaking top kickers and punters, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Matt Paradis, great at getting to the second level, putting linebackers on their back. He's agile. He's got good body motion. He maintains great leverage. That's the reason why he's up here in the top 5. He uses his skills to his advantage. For number 4, I gave it to Brandon Linder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He got a huge payday last year. And he's proven why he deserved that money. His hand technique has gotten better each year. He's great at using his leverage to put defenders down. He really helped improve the Jaguars' offense. I think he was actually a big reason why Leonard Fournette looked as great as he did as a rookie. I'm not going to say he was the entire reason. Leonard Fournette, of course, is a damn good running back, was elite in college, proved to be an elite running back in the NFL. The hype was real with LF7. I wish my Panthers had a shot to get him. Damn you, Jacksonville Jaguars. But as it is, I believe Cam Newton wanted McCaffrey as well. I believe Cam Newton wanted McCaffrey for more of his pass-catching ability, though. So, Linder, great drive blocking, pass protecting, great in the run game. His one weakness is that he sometimes loses his man when he run blocks. But if he hooks on to his run, to his defender, they're going down. For number 3, I had Alex Mack of the Atlanta Falcons. Division rival Love. He's great at getting to the second level. He's great at getting through the first level of the D-line, attacking the linebackers. He's fast. He's explosive coming off of his stance. He really helped. He was already great with the Browns. And he signed a 5-year, $45 million contract with the Falcons. And I knew when he signed with the Falcons, it was going to be trouble. Alex Mack was already one of the best centers with the Browns. Then he comes over to Atlanta. He was a big reason why Atlanta made the Super Bowl where they lost 28-3. And I got to say this too. Yeah. A lot of the reason why they struggled winning that game was because of Alex Mack's injury. He got injured right at the tail end of the season in 2016. And I think that injury actually affected the Super Bowl performance of the Falcons. I actually do think a lot of that had to do with that. He's still great. He's able to get up, get down, reset his base. He's great in the run game, great in the pass game. Signed a great contract, like I said. For the first few weeks, he struggled getting to the second level in the run game. And then he just used his intelligence. He used his cerebral, like Triple H, the cerebral assassin. All of these guys up here, they use their head. That's the reason why they made the top 5, the top 3, the elite. These are all guys who use their head. They don't just rely on their ability they don't just rely on their pass blocking ability. My number 2, and this number 3 again is interchangeable. It could be Kelsey, it could be Mac, it could be Frederick. For me, I gave number 2 to Jason Kelsey of the Eagles. He won the Super Bowl. I just don't think he's quite as good as Frederick. Frederick was obviously drafted higher. There's a reason behind that. But still, Kelsey, you can't hate on the man. In space, he's probably the best offensive lineman. One-on-one, he's winning that battle. Pass protection is a little bit spotty. He loses a few battles in pass protection. That's what kept him from being my number 1. But he's great at mirroring one-gap penetrators, and he has great feet. He keeps his feet moving. He's not going to lose leverage battles. He's great in space. He's great on the move. That's a big reason why Carson Wentz is as good as he is, because he's able to adjust and work with a mobile quarterback. Then Jamel made a great point. He's worked with different quarterbacks. That's actually, you got to give him credit for doing that. You got to give him credit for doing that. He worked with a mobile quarterback, and then he worked with a quarterback who's more of a pocket passer statue, so to speak. So for him to be able to transition seamlessly between those, I could see why you have him as your number 1, Jamel. That actually makes a lot of sense. He's definitely up there, top 3, earned his ranking. For me, I had to give the nod to number 1 to the Dallas Cowboys, Travis Frederick. This is a guy, they took him at 18, I want to say, and the NFL panned the Cowboys. He's a reach. You reached. He could have been available in round 3. I remember seeing it. And that was when the Dallas Cowboys really started getting serious about protecting their quarterback and getting a run game established. It's like they went back to their 1990s tape and said, you know what? We were at our best years. We were able to run the ball down people's throats, and we were able to keep old Troy Aikman off of his back. So they decided, you literally can see
you gotta go back to the basics sometimes.
It's like they literally decided that they were going to be that team that installs the old school mentality while the rest of the NFL is pass happy. They were one of those teams who really got going with a run heavy scheme. You start noticing now a lot of the teams that run better usually are winning games nowadays. It's part of the evolution of the NFL. It's eventually going to reach a point.
Carolina wants to be.
Exactly. You know what? They got a hell of a shot to do that with that damn 22-22 connection, McCaffrey and C.J. Anderson. I think, and plus you mentioned Cam Newton in there too, and Armaged and Alex Armagh. They have a damn good shot to do that. I'm going to call it the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
You got the Steelers got the triple B's. We got the triple C's.
The killer B's.
Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey, and C.J. Anderson. What's up?
All right. We got to come up with a better name for the offense than that, but I like it. It's a 1-2-3 punch at running back.
Yeah, man.
Travis Frederick, number 1. He's like the paragon for you at center. He is what you want from your center. One-on-one, you are not going to win. You would have to double him. He uses his leverage to his advantage. He drives his opponents that he plays, in this case being a defensive tackle for the most part, pushes them out of the way so they're not even impacting the play. He's great at controlling his body. And you know what else is so big about Frederick? He's still young. This dude just turned 26 years old this year. He is still, he has not even quite entered his prime, and he's already one of the elite centers. I think when all is said and done, this guy is a Hall of Famer at center.
Oh, yeah. Locked and loaded.
I see some comments from William Richardson III. Sure, but the Redskins are going to win this year. Eagles got through the Redskins this year. I'm sorry, William. I did not see when you made this comment. Sorry about that. But Jamel, do you want to remark on this remark about the Redskins?
Come on, man. The Redskins is not going to win it all. They'll have an all right season. But he's already struggling. I hope you're not talking about Kurt or whoever they got. Who they got now?
Alex Smith. They let Kirk Cousins walk and brought in Alex Smith with a massive contract.
Yeah. But they don't got no one on offense. Who's Smith throwing it to?
Dobson.
Yeah, I forgot it. Yeah.
Pryor.
No one.
Oh, he's got Pryor.
And how they run the game? Who they got as a back? They don't got nobody beastly.
I know they brought in a back. I cannot remember the cat's name. They took him in the draft. He had issues. He had character issues, so he fell.
And their defense is trying to rely on Norman.
Dang it, man, this is going to kill me. Running back that the Redskins drafted. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot think of it.
Who they get?
See, this is bugging me.
McCullough got Chubb. Browns got Chubb. Giants got Barkley.
But all else fails, go to Google.
Yeah.
I know one of the players they looked at running back, he fell because of character issues. Apparently had issues being late as well. Samaj Perrine. I knew it. That was the one. No, Darius Geis.
Oh, they got Geis.
They got Geis. Darius Geis. Okay. That was the one
that's still not enough to go all the way.
And Samaj Perrine, you got to give him credit last year. He was pretty damn solid for the Redskins as well.
Yeah, he's all right. But not bowl material. Ain't no way the Skins finna go to the bowl with just
I don't see that happening either. Alex Smith never been the best quarterback, and that, but you know what? At the same time, he never really liked to throw to his wide receivers for touchdowns in Kansas City. He was more of a running back and tight end guy, so they might have something there with not having wide receivers. At this point, the Redskins might have one of the worst wide receiver cores in the NFL, and that's including the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, well, we just went dumb happy on upgrading that.
They had to.
Definitely.
They had to. No, I think the Saints game, the playoffs, they saw, you know what? With better receivers, Cam Newton advances. I think they saw that.
For real, man. You can't rely on his legs all day.
No, most quarterbacks, most running backs and quarterbacks that run typically hit that wall about age 30, and he's 29 right now. He's still in his prime, but we don't know how much longer he can use his legs. So they need to get him weapons that can do running for him.
I'm 29 right now. What you mean? I'm 29 right now. What you mean?
Yeah, but you ain't in the NFL.
I actually turned 30 in 29 days.
I don't like you right now. I turned 33 August 11th, damn it. Got me feeling old as hell.
Squad.
Got me feeling old, damn it.
Yeah, man.
What, so now I'm the youngin?
Yeah, man.
I think you are the youngest of our broadcast team, actually. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think the Pope is in his 30s. So, yeah, you're the youngest, I think. Young whippersnapper. Get on.
Yeah, the young worker.
Make me get my belt. Play the smackdown.
I'm gonna get my name my bone stick. Don't make me no time.
Oh, yeah. That Redskins comment, though. Yeah, that ain't happening.
No, I don't see that happening either. I think they're going to have trouble getting through the Giants and the. I'm going to say this, William. I think it's more likely that the Redskins are the worst team in the NFC East than they win the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm. And Norman's going to be fed up, and he's going to come back home.
Hey, Margie
Sweet
McPeak.
home Carolina. Sweet home Carolina.
I hope Jay No returns. He's got another 3 years on that contract, doesn't he?
He will be. This is his last year, pretty much, where it becomes an option year for them.
Well, but they paid him like $75 million. Do you really think they're going to let him walk?
Yeah, especially if he's saying he want to go. It's definitely a possibility. Because it's in the contract where this year right here is they both can agree on they don't have to keep going. So it's basically his last year, kind of.
Well, I do think with David Gettleman gone from the Panthers, very likely he might come back to the Panthers next year.
And Norm might do a little deal or something. You never know, man.
Speaking of corners in the Redskins, what the hell happened with Bashaud Breeland? I mean, I know he failed his physical. I know that. But he's just literally fell off the radar ever since failing that physical.
Well, yeah, because he can't do nothing else until he can pass it. So he's speaking of that, how about Winston? If he get into one more trouble, he's banned from the NFL.
Yeah, you know what? I reckon we could take a little break from the top 10 centers and tackles and guards and all that and talk a little about NFL weekly news. Yeah, you touched on it. Jameis Winston. I don't know what to say about Jameis Winston. Apparently, he really loves crabs. You know what? He wanted it. He stole some crabs from Publix, and then he was trying to get crabs from a female Uber driver. That's rib shot. That was bad. Real talk, though. Real talk.
But his hand, crab legs tried to get frisky, but his hand slipped because of the butter sauce.
Sorry, y'all. That was inappropriate as hell. Real talk, though. It really kind of makes you take the NFL into, like, what the hell are they thinking? Here you have performance-enhancing drugs. They get a 4-game suspension for that, right? 4 games?
Yeah.
You have a guy who's either raped or groped. They've done something inappropriately. That much is certain at this point. And they only get a 3-game suspension? That's pretty damn. I'm tempted to use the damn F-bomb on here, but we're on the radio.
They won't tell us why they dropped it because it was originally 6 games.
Well, someone explained to me why Julian Edelman is being placed under a 4-game suspension for something coming up in a drug test that ain't even on the banned substance list, or so the reports have said.
Right. Yeah, they've been hitting everybody with it. Same with Thomas Davis.
What's that smell? Conspiracy.
I thought you were going to say bullshit.
That too.
Bullshit. But no, it really makes you think. So a guy can do performance-enhancing drugs. There's one guy who's been suspended for like freaking 3 years now. That's Josh Gordon for doing weed. Yet you have a guy who gropes a female driver or even rapes, or no one really knows the true story.
He smacked the ass. That's what he did. They said he was drunk and he was sexually just like I told y'all about Gettleman. Yeah, y'all ain't want to listen.
Not Gettleman, it was Richardson. I remember that. You told us Richardson was I still can't believe that. Seriously. I know it's true at this point, but just he had such a wholesome, family loving value image.
You see, they made him pay $2.75 million.
Yeah, but that's chump change at this point. Boy just sold the Panthers for like $2.75 billion.
Right.
He gonna run to the damn bank and pay a damn $2 million fine. That's
what's that, about 1%? They said we need 1% of that. They should have made him pay it to the team.
That'd be like charging me $20 or something, the kind of money he just got. That's ridiculous. That does not fit the crime.
They should have hit him with like $200 million. Should have made him pay $200 million. Yeah.
Is there anything? What else was happening besides Jameis Winston being suspended for 3 games?
Cam showing up with your boy Antonio Brown, Julio, and everybody else who wanted contract extensions.
Exactly.
Because Cam, this is his contract year too now.
2020.
Is it 20 or 19?
2020.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? No, I believe that it's 2020 for Cam Newton. It's 2021 for Antonio Brown. Unfortunately, you know what? Antonio Brown's going to be a bit too old by the time he gets released from the Steelers, if he ever does.
Y'all acting like age is a big thing nowadays. This is a new world we live in, baby. 30 is the new 25. For real. For real.
I think it depends on the position you're playing.
Dude, 40 is the new 25.
For real. Look at Brady. Brady old as hell, and he's still looking good.
But Brady gets
Benjamin Button disease.
But Brady gets it done different than a Cam Newton and Aaron Rodgers does. He never has relied on physical ability. Brady has always got that damn ball out quickly. As long as he keeps his release and keeps his accuracy, that boy could play probably to 50.
But that still takes work, though.
Physical. I mean, he can still launch the ball. He's still accurate, and he can still take a hit. Not everything's physical.
No, to me, put a regular 40-year-old out there.
The quarterback position is not a physical position.
Not supposed to be, anyway.
It's a mental position, and he's more mentally tact than the other quarterbacks. Except for our top threes.
Brady will take some hits. It might not be sacks, but he takes some late release hits.
Yeah, and I've seen him get right up. One of my favorite videos that I've watched is he gets hit by Ray Lewis. And we all know how big of a hitter he was.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis would take a damn head off.
By Ray. And he gets up, looks him dead in the eye and says, "Do what? Do it again."
Right.
Next play, touchdown. And Brady looks right at him and just points.
Yeah. See, my guy's Belichick. I like Belichick. I don't like Brady just because he beat us at the bowl. Until we get our lick back, we got beat. Once we get our lick back, hey, Brady's legit. I'm like, yeah, I like Brady.
You can't hate on Tom Brady. I guess you can at this point. You can hate on this, you can hate scandals and all that.
I want to like him.
You know what? The only thing I'm going to say regarding TB12 is what Von Miller said this year when he was named the #1 player in the NFL. You can't hate him.
Okay.
You start talking bad about him, you're just a hater.
Yeah.
That's a direct quote from Von Miller.
That man's doing it, man. He's doing it. One thing I don't like about him is he beat us at the bowl. That's it. That's my only beef.
Well, there had to be a winner and there had to be a loser. And John Casey kicking the ball out of bounds had a lot to do with that, too.
Yeah.
John Casey.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that thing goes to overtime.
Yeah, because Brady technically didn't beat us. That's why I got beef with Vinatieri, too. He on the list.
He ain't even with the Pats anymore.
You're on the list!
It don't matter. It don't matter. Wherever he goes.
He's going to die in dead
Yeah,
pastures
Green Bay.
already.
He in Green Bay now or with
Vinatieri's with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, he with the
He
Colts.
went from being Tom Brady's buddy. He went from being Tom Brady's buddy on
To
the
Tom
Patriots
Brady's
to
bitch.
being a part of Tom Brady's bitch squad.
Mhm.
That's a hell of a demotion. So yeah, some rookies have signed their contracts in the NFL this week. Here's two that I know of. DJ Moore, Panthers fans rejoice. All of our rookies are signed this week. I believe he signed a 4-year, $6.75 billion contract. Rookie standard rookie wage. That's I think he's gonna outlive that contract within 2 years.
So let's go ahead and bring it up. Is Funchess going to get 1,000 yards? Hell no.
Funchess and 1,000 yards.
Hell no. Funchess ain't hit in 1,000. I'm saying it right now.
I don't know.
Funchess ain't hitting
You know what? I don't think he
Funchess is
will.
not hitting the
He's
1,000.
going to be going to Greg
Funchess-
Olsen, C.J. Anderson, Christian McCaffrey, Curtis Samuel, Devin Funchess, T.J. Smith, Ian Thomas. You know what? Or
You didn't
not
even
T.J.
say
Smith,
Moore.
Torrey
You didn't
Smith,
even say
D.J.
Moore.
Moore. I combined the two damn names together. D.J. Moore,
And-
Torrey Smith.
And remember, we got to let Ron already said we got to let a receiver go.
If we're letting a receiver
Somebody
go,
got-
my bet will be Charles Johnson.
Tim Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't do anything. We brought him in free agency. I don't even think he played a game last year. We don't want to get rid of Damiere Byrd. Damiere Byrd was starting to show signs of flashing. He was starting to show signs of breaking out with a 2-touchdown game against the Packers. You don't want to get rid of Damiere Byrd. So who do you get rid of?
Smith. I thought they was going to go with Smith.
But yeah, another
Or that
contract
right
signed
kid.
as well. Saquon Barkley. He got $30 million guaranteed from the Giants.
What? They paid him that much already?
Guaranteed contract. He says he's going to be smart and do it like beast mode. He's going to put the money in the bank and save it and live off of his endorsement deals.
Yeah, that's how you do it right
Smart.
there.
That's smart. But just what shocks
But he's
me
got
was
a
the
lot-
amount
he's
given.
going to have a lot of pressure on him, though.
That's
If
what
he
shocked
doesn't
me was the
do
amount
good.
given to him.
That's a lot of pressure he just put on himself.
That's
Now you
almost
definitely got a ball.
that almost reminds
gonna be
me of the
another flop?
contracts that they used to give quarterbacks taken at number 1. I think Cam Newton was the
Right.
very first quarterback taken at 1 that did not, under the new CBA agreement, that did not get a freaking 15, 20, 30, 40, $50 million deal right off the bat. Bradford was the last one. That was 2010. Cam Newton was the first one with the new deal in 2011. And that almost reminds me of the contracts that like Jamarcus Russell from the Raiders got. That's like you said, hella pressure put on Saquon Barkley. He pretty much has no choice. He's got to be the answer at running back for the Giants.
Yep.
He's got to
no
be.
Choice. And didn't they draft that guard or no? They didn't get him.
I want to say they got Hernandez.
They did get Hernandez? That's what I'm talking about. Did they get him at round 2? I think they did.
Now you got me checking Google, damn it.
I think they got him at round 2. And I was like, damn it.
Look up Giants and instead it's talking baseball.
Yeah, I think they got him.
I'll let you look that up. All right, so we talked left tackles, guards, centers. Let's finish up on the O-line with right tackles.
All right. I'll start off. Number 1, Lane Johnson with the Eagles.
All right, so we're going to go from 1 to 10 this time. I did have Lane Johnson as my number 1 as well. I did as well. He was a big reason they made the Super Bowl, big reason they ran the ball as well as they did. He was always a great right tackle. He was always great.
Right.
Put the whole performance-enhancing drugs scandal, from the 2013, 2014 seasons, put that out of his head. And he's improved year to year since that. The funny thing is when he was drafted, they wanted to make him their left tackle. They actually wanted to make him their left tackle. That was their plan. And that they would move Jason Peters to right tackle. But instead, when Peters went down this past year, they decided to keep Lane Johnson at right tackle. And Halapulavati Vatal. Man, that is a hard name to pronounce. They saw him do well enough at left tackle to continue playing there. Yeah, Carson Wentz,
My number
Nick
2
Foles.
is your boy.
Go ahead.
My number 2 is, of course, Carolina's own Mr. Williams.
Darrell Williams, I actually have him as my number 3 here. It's amazing, though. You know what? This is a guy that when he was drafted, I was saying in the draft, you know what? He's going to be a good player. Give him time to develop. He didn't get time to do anything as a rookie in the 2015 season. Didn't get a time to do anything as a rookie. 2016 didn't really see the field until late, but he bounced forward big time this past year, earning second-team All-Pro honors. I knew he was going to be good because he come from Oklahoma. They're typically a place that likes to run the ball, and I knew he was going to be able to be a power blocker. He's great in pass rushing. He's got good foot quickness, great range. He really stepped forward for the Carolina Panthers. Was a big reason they were able to move the ball so effectively this past year, I think. I had him as my number 3, not my number 2.
My number 3, I got Brian Bulaga with the Packers. I know he got hurt, but that man was a beast.
I have him as my number 4, Brian Bulaga, the Green Bay Packers. This is a guy, and he only played in 5 games. That really tells you just how damn good he is. This is another guy. You could tell when he was in the game, the Packers were a different team than when he was out of the game.
Didn't he go out with a concussion?
Say that again?
Didn't he end his season with a concussion?
He had a concussion, and then he got a season-ending ACL tear.
Oh, damn.
Brian Balaga was pretty much hurt the entire season last year. He had a high ankle sprain early in the year. Then he got the concussion that you just mentioned. And then he had the season-ending ACL tear in week 9.
And still.
And even working with that ankle sprain, he's a top right tackle.
Aaron Rodgers for you.
Well, you got to give credit to Balaga as well. He's great in pass blocking, especially, at run blocking.
Rodgers doesn't get hit like that.
Well, Rodgers is almost like a hybrid quarterback. He's able to run if he needs to, and he also, like Brady, gets the ball out quickly to keep from getting hit. He doesn't hold on to the ball and make the line look worse than they are.
Except when he came back, thought he was going to do something against Carolina.
Oh, hell. Yeah, he didn't quite look himself in that game.
I'm mad that they gave us so much disrespect at the end of that game. All the critics and stuff, we won that game, but all they was talking about is how bad Aaron did coming back. How good
that's pretty much how the media has always treated the Carolina Panthers. Let's be honest. I'm trying to keep this more NFL talk at this point. We're talking about the top 10 and all the positions. But the Panthers have always been disrespected by the media. So what?
We can't help that our squad is up there.
Well, the Panthers have pretty much always been disrespected by the NFL media. They gave them a small media market. I think a lot of it's because they're still young. A lot of people forget the Panthers aren't even 25 years old yet. They're barely able to drink.
Just like the Jazz. We just like the Jazz.
Exactly.
The Jazz get more credit than we do.
And I touched on it in a talk with another football fan in another group. Even in the 2015 season, when the Panthers had just mollywopped the Redskins, were 10-0. All the news was for that Thanksgiving game. Oh, it's in Dallas. Oh, Tony Romo's coming back. We had Skip Bayless predicting the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let's be honest. Skip Bayless is a freaking Cowboy homer. He's about as big a homer of the Cowboys as James over there is of the Patriots, or we are with the Panthers. But he was predicting that Romo would hang up like 5 touchdowns on the Panthers defense at that point.
Oh, he hung up all right. He hung that jersey up for good.
I want to say his first or second pass was taken back for a pick 6. I remember that game.
And then he got stiff armed by Luke.
Put on his ass. But seriously, the disrespect has always been real for the Carolina Panthers. I think that's really all you need to say. Moving back to the Packers and Balaga, he's a great right tackle, but the problem is he might end up hitting free agency because the Green Bay Packers, they have a proven tendency to let their O-linemen go in free agency. He might end up becoming a great right tackle for another team in the future. He's going to be one to watch in the future, I think. That was my number 4. For my number 2, was Mitchell Schwartz.
Yeah, that's what I got for number 4.
Okay.
Got Mitchell for number 4. And then we had number 5, I got let's see. Number 5, I got your boy from the Saints. What's his dude's name? Ryan Ramczyk.
Ryan Ramczyk, I think. You know what? As a rookie, Ryan Ramczyk coming to the NFL pretty much dominated from day one. Started off the year at left tackle. An injury to Zach Strife, he got moved to the right side, and he, as good as he was at left tackle, he was even freaking better at right tackle. He's got great size, he's technical, he's got a good skill set. Keep in mind, this boy is a rookie. Ryan Ramczyk is a rookie. He's also one of the oldest rookies from the draft. Keep that in mind. He was one of the older rookies. But that might have actually had a bit of a a reason why he was able to play so well. He doesn't quite have the mindset of, say, a 20, a 21, a 22-year-old. He's more mature, more developed in the mind game. Great size, knows how to push defenders around. He's great at pass blocking. He's great at just punching, his anchoring. He ran into consistencies whenever he was first starting out as a pass blocker, but he's learned how to mirror and take away the inside if a defender tries to go to the inside. Running game, he's great with his footwork, and he knows how to run block effectively. He's a big reason why the Saints' run game got going like they did.
Yeah. Number 6, Marcus Gilbert with the Steelers.
Say that again.
Number 6, Marcus Gilbert with the Steelers.
He was my number 8 for my. Oh wait, that's number 7, right? Or number 6?
Yeah, number 6.
We've lost track. I've got some divisional love for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I got DeMar Dotson as my number 6.
Dotson I got at 7.
Dottie! He is a quiet player. His biggest issue, though, has always been injuries. He's a bit of an injury-prone player. He started the first 11 games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He surrendered 2.5 sacks during those 11 games. Then he got put on IR in Week 12 against the Atlanta Falcons. This is every one of the top 10 when you're playing right tackle. They use their head. They're great at anchoring. They got good footwork. They're good at pass blocking with their hands. They don't put their hands on the inside or the outside of the jersey where it'd be holding. They hold to the inside so it doesn't get called. All of these players in the top 10 all possess that trait, those same traits. They're great at getting to the second level. They're great at putting defenders on their back, helping with the run game. Every single right tackle in the top 10 shows that ability, as well as Dottie here. All right, so you said that your number 7 was Marcus Gilbert?
Yeah. And my number 8 is Jeremy Parnell with the Jags.
Marcus Gilbert, this is what you need to know about him. When he was playing right tackle for the Steelers, they averaged 27 points per game. When he was off the field, 20.2. And that's almost a full touchdown difference the Steelers scored between him being on the field and him being off of the field for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you said that you're number 8.
Jeremy Parnell with the Jags.
I had Jeremy Parnell at number 8 as well. Jacksonville Jaguars. I think a big reason why the Jaguars have turned their team around is because they, just like the Dallas Cowboys, they got serious about addressing that offensive line. You could see Coughlin's. He was made Tom Coughlin. He was made their vice president of what the hell is it? Their vice, I want to say it's like an executive vice president or something like that. And you can see him in the Jaguars. You see it in their run game. You see it in their defense. Tom Coughlin has always been about the run game and the hard defense, and he brought that over to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Parnell fits that description. They like to run the ball. Parnell likes to get low and run, push defenders out of the way. He generates power at the point of attack. He's able to drive through defenders, push them out of the way. He's got a nasty mindset. He wants to put you on your ass.
Yep. And then we got, what are we on, 9? Ryan Schrader with the Falcons.
He was my number 9 as well. Ryan Schrader, more divisional love for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, pretty much our whole division was in
pretty
the top
much
10.
the entire the Panthers was the top right tackle. The Saints was next, then the Falcons and the Buccaneers. All the NFC South made the list at right tackle.
Yep. And then 10.
You gotta give. I gotta touch on Ryan Schrader. He's one of those guys. Ryan Schrader is one of those guys who came from nothing. This is a dude from a small school called Valdosta State. Valdosta State. Does anyone recognize that school name? Carolina Panthers fans might, because David Gettleman in the 2014 season took a project from Valdosta State as well. I'm trying to remember the cat's name. I want to say it was like Ajuwubi Way or something like that. Needless to say, the dude didn't pan out. He was a project, and he did not work for the Panthers. Ryan Schrader comes from Division II Valdosta State and is now one of the better right tackles in the NFL. He's one of those rags to riches style players. That's why I'm touching on his story, so to speak. Yeah, he's great at length. He uses his agility, his pass protection. He does have problem if defenders manage to get underneath his pad level. He has problems getting his hands back to regain control on the block. He's great in the run game. He's a big reason running right guard, right tackle, why Devonta Freeman has become the running back for the Atlanta Falcons that he has. All right, I just wanted to touch on Ryan Schrader right quick. Who's your number 10, bud?
Jack Conklin with the Titans.
Jack Conklin with the Titans.
He's another rookie.
Sophomore season last year, he was already solid in the 2016 season, got even better as a sophomore. No sophomore slump for Jack Conklin. He's physical. He's great at run blocking. He's a guy who is going to take your line of scrimmage from here, and he's going to push it forward an extra 5 yards. That's a big reason why Derrick Henry, a lot of those Titans running backs, they just can get the ball in space and make something happen with their leg and their feet because they already have that hold made. Jack Conklin, even so young, is already great at playing with power, using his hand placement. If he gets a hold of you, he gets to the inside, he's going to push you out of the way. It's going to form a hole for his Titan running back, Derrick Henry, and he's going to take it at least 3 yards on the carry.
But the problem with it is the reason why I got him at 10 is because, he got hurt in the playoffs.
I was about to touch on that, my friend. He's had 2 issues. Okay. First one, he has problems against explosive pass rushers. A Von Miller, a Vic Beasley, they're going to eat Jack Conklin alive. The really, really fast ones, they will eat him alive just using pure speed and explosiveness. And in the 2018, in the playoffs, he suffered a torn ACL. I think that's around the time where the Patriots really started dominating the Titans in that game. He suffered a torn ACL, took him out at right tackle. We have to see how he's going to bounce back in the 2018 season.
He probably won't even be there to start the season.
All right, we've gone through the entire O-line today. It's taken a bit longer than I thought it was going to, honestly. We're almost approaching 3 hours here.
Yeah, perfect ending.
I didn't even think it was that time, but we're approaching 2.5, 3 hours already. I think we're going to have to push forward the D-line for the next show.
Yeah.
That'll give y'all a chance to research more on it, pick your, get it together. Look at all the film of the past week, the past year. Go through it. Look at your top tackles, ends. For this next week, it'll be tackles and defensive ends. Then after that, it'll be linebackers. Then after that,
All right, man. Well,
all right.
Good show, you guys.
Can we think of anything else that's happened in the NFL this week? Has there been anything else that's occurred in the NFL this week? I'm looking through news. I'm not really seeing too much. Contracts being signed. Jameis Winston suspension.
Pepper finna become the 100% owner. I know
that was something I was seeing as well. David Tepper, the new owner of the Carolina Panthers, he has opted to buy out the contracts of the rest of the ownership. That would make David Tepper the sole owner of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. He probably gonna pay that cash too, because he got money to play. Oh. That's how you buy the Carolina Panthers. You buy it with cash.
He put it down. I mean, I tell you what, I wish I could have been in that room and seen the reactions when he comes in with freaking almost $3 billion in cash and just,
right.
I want the Panthers, man, to have that damn kind of money.
Walk in the Bank of America. That's a fitting way to buy a Bank of America stadium and drop bank money on it.
Man, you know they must have escorted him with a damn armor tank. One of those damn armor cars.
For real. Knowing me, just give me and my squad. We got this. Run up if you want to. For real.
Well, there is something else that's happened in the NFL this past week. Referees. Apparently, there's a changeover in referees. There's going to be 4 referees that have to be replaced this year.
Oh, yeah, because they retiring and stuff. They getting old because they're using the same ones. They need to get rid of them corrupt ones. But the new ones are going to be just as corrupted. Especially with sports gambling being legal now. We got to be careful with that.
Here's going to be something else to keep an eye on for next week. NFL free agency is going to hit next week. Second wave going to be hitting. We're going to be talking about that and see who goes where next week on next week's show.
Ain't nobody going nowhere. I did hear that Des Bryant says that his agent was saying that he's the reason that he's not signed right now. Like, he's getting offers, but he's turning them down.
They're probably trying to underpay him then. I mean, you can't blame him. Des Bryant has steadily declined as a wide receiver over the years.
Mm-hmm. If we had the money, we would probably give a shot at him, but we broke.
I think he would be horrible for Cam Newton, actually. I think he would expect the ball too much.
Give him a 1-year prove-it deal. Start off the season with Dallas. What?
I don't know. Des Bryant seems to me like that diva receiver that wants the ball all the time, but he's not willing to work to get it. He just wants it handed to him. Hate to say it, kind of reminds me of a Kelvin Benjamin. He came out again making more remarks about how he was used in Carolina.
So hold on. You think Benji is better than Dez?
No. Maybe. Man, that's hard to say. They're almost the same player, except for Des Bryant's got better speed.
Mm-hmm.
Des Bryant has done more.
You don't think Dak and Romo was a difference?
I think a lot of it was on Des Bryant himself. I feel like Des Bryant relied just too much on his speed, his power. He didn't learn how to run routes effectively. He just relied on the same gimmick, the same. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like Steve Smith was when his first couple of years in the league. Steve Smith as a rookie receiver, as a rookie. Before they got Ricky Prohl, Steve Smith pretty much knew one route. go long. That was pretty much his one thing. And Ricky Prohl came to the Panthers.
Make adjustments, man. The adjustments.
I was about to say that. Ricky Prohl come to the Panthers, and he told Steve Smith straight up, yeah, you're fast right now. You're probably one of the most explosive receivers in the game with your speed. Straight line. But if you don't learn how to run routes properly, you're not going to have a good career. Because everyone gets older. Everyone ages. We already see that. Steve Smith at freaking age 35 with the Ravens was still putting things, still putting up stats. He made the Panthers his bitch in the 2014 game he played against them, the blood and guts game. I remember watching that. He had an explosiveness I haven't seen him have in years in Carolina. A lot of that was because of how he took care of himself. He never always – Steve Smith never relied just on his physical ability. He relied on his mind as well. He learned the mental aspects of playing wide receiver. And that's why I think he's a Hall of Famer in the future. I don't know if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think he's going to get that Hall of Fame nod when all is said and done.
Mm-hmm.
And Dez Bryant is a guy who he never got it. He relied on his speed, his power, but NFL teams got smart. They drafted faster, stronger corners that could combat that speed and that power. And it comes down to, can you run routes effectively? Can you run the slant route? Can you run the wide route, the flat route? And Dez Bryant was pretty much exposed as a one-trick pony.
Okay. Just wanted to know, you know.
Sorry, I went all damn technical analytical on you, didn't I? But no, at this point, yeah, I do have to say Dez Bryant probably still better than Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin, if he's not careful, he's going to fall into that one-trick pony route as well, where he just becomes a red zone threat.
He's going to have to do something this year because he's talking big smack. Like, I heard the smack he's been saying. I'm like, you acting like you wasn't the most targeted receiver Cam had.
He's been pretty much, he got his targets in Carolina, and he didn't do too much with them. And by that point, you know, I'll say this. In 2014, who did the Panthers have?
Oh, yeah, bro.
Who really, in 2014, did the Carolina Panthers have at receiver? They had Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie. They had Jericho Cotchery at the back end of his prime. They had
last year.
They had an undrafted free agency in Philly Brown, and that was their wide receiver core. 2015, Kelvin Benjamin gets hurt.
Don't forget about Dixon. Wasn't Dixon around?
Ed Dixon. Yeah, let's be honest. Ed Dixon. What? Let's be honest here. If we're being 100% honest, he had maybe two great games as a Panther. Ed Dixon had two great games as a Panther. One was that 35-0 blowout against the Falcons. He had that nice catch that made the highlight reel because it looked like a throw when Cam Newton threw it. It went through three defenders. He caught it in the end zone. That one, that was one. The second one was this past year against the Detroit Lions. They were pretty much determined to make Cam Newton beat him with their arm, and he did. They said, we're going to stuff your runner. We're going to.
Wasn't the word. Determined is not the word. They was obsessed.
Exactly.
They said, no, we're not going to do nothing else. We're going to make him throw it because he can't throw it.
Ed Dixon in that play, I think any tight end would have made the same play. He was just a recipient. He was wide open because they bit so damn hard on play action. And next thing you know, Ed Dixon's got a damn 150-yard touchdown performance. Other than that, what really did he do in a Panthers uniform?
Not a darn.
Where did we come from talking about this? Oh, yeah, 2015. Kelvin Benjamin goes down hurt after a great rookie season. Just missed the 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown rank. He was considered to be a top up-and-coming receiver. Gets hurt his 2015 season. Why? Because he doesn't train in the offseason. He gains weight. He shows up to off-season camp overweight. And now instead of training appropriately, instead he's got to try to burn off that body fat that he hasn't adjusted to playing again, and he messes up his lower body. He misses the 2015 season. The Carolina Panthers somehow discover, hey, Cam Newton works better with fast targets.
Mm-hmm.
So Devin Funchess develops as a rookie. By about week 8, you could see he's starting to develop as a rookie. I believe it was against the Green Bay Packers. All right, go ahead.
Should we have kept Ginn?
Should we have kept Ted Ginn? I believe we should have. I honestly believe we should have, at least for another year or two.
Norman killed us. That and Norman killed us.
Agreed. Losing Jado in the secondary, that really hurt. Bradbury, he's good, but I don't think he's a Josh Norman. Bradbury, in my opinion, is more like a Chris Gamble. He's going to be a quiet, lockdown defender, but he's not going to get you a lot of picks.
No, because he's too scared, man. He's too scared to make that chance.
I'll say this. He started taking risk at the end of the 2017 season.
Well, I give him credit because he don't trust our safeties, man. He didn't trust the help.
Oh, what? Well, can you blame him? Can you blame him? In 2016, Kurt Coleman was exposed as basically being a one-trick pony. I think Josh Norman, they were like a symbiotic combination, Josh Norman and Kurt Coleman were. They worked great together. Alone, not quite as much. Josh Norman, though, Josh Norman is a guy who basically developed. It took him a while. He was making plays in the preseason when he was drafted in 2012. I actually remember talking to him on Facebook, even before he got big. I'd actually messaged Josh Norman, told him, hey, keep your head up.
Heavy. Yeah, he was on the book heavy now.
Yeah. I actually remember talking to Josh Norman before he had that big year. I told him, hey, keep your head up. You're going to get your chance to play for the Panthers. Keep your head up. And, that same year, I think it was, he started to explode and become a household name for Panthers fans. 2014, he was showing signs that he was getting it. Then he got concussed. When he came back in 2014, he had a lot to do with the Panthers going from 3-8-1 out of the playoff picture to 7-8-1 and NFC South champs a consecutive season. He shut down Julio Jones, shut down Mike Evans, shut down Brandon Cooks.
Hopkins.
Exactly. He took all those top receivers out of the equation.
It was a list of them.
And then 2015, he was even better.
Odell, 2015, Odell. Odell start throwing hands with him.
But getting back to receivers, 2015, we saw the development of Philly Brown. He actually became pretty damn decent under Cam Newton. Ted Ginn goes from a guy who exactly. I mean, Ted Ginn goes from a guy who's cast off from the 49ers and the Dolphins and the Cardinals by that point, because he'd already left the Panthers, went to the Cardinals, and come back to the Panthers that season. He goes from a guy who is pretty much a 3-team cast-off to right up in the rankings of elite wide receivers, getting touchdowns. I think he had 10 that season. And he almost put up 1,000 yards with Cam Newton. This is a guy who was just he was seen as pure speed, and that was it. And Cam Newton made him a receiver. Devin Funchess. Devin Funchess was a guy who you know what? I still to this day think he is the Masin Muhammad for the Carolina Panthers. And so you asked the question, do I think he's a number one receiver? No. I think he's a strong number two. I think when it comes to the end of it, he's going to be one of the best number two wide receivers in the NFL. I just don't think he's got the speed to become a number one. DJ Moore, on the other hand. Say what?
Is Moore going to do it?
DJ Moore, on the other hand, is going to be like the wide receiver core I see the Panthers having right now is almost replicated of what they had in 2003. Masin Muhammad will be Devin Funchess. DJ Moore will be your Steve Smith. And I'm thinking it's going to be Curtis Samuel as the rookie pro. Actually, I'm going to take that back. The one who I think is going to be the rookie pro would be the one that we brought over from the Vikings.
Smith.
Torrey Smith was an Eagle. What the hell is this cat's name? Jarius Wright. Jarius Wright. He is a solid third down playmaker. I've already talked to Vikings fans about him, and they had the same opinion that I did. His biggest impact comes on third downs, making those third down clutch conversions to keep your chains moving. And I think he's going to do just that in Carolina. Curtis Samuel, I realize he was drafted high. I just think Jarius Wright is going to be taking that slot spot more than Curtis Samuel does.
I think Kurt might show out.
I hope he does. From what I see in from what he looks like in OTAs, he looks like he's improved.
You heard those trade rumors, right, with Samuel and Flowers?
I don't see that happening. I honestly don't. The way I see it, the more receivers you get Cam Newton, the better. Even if he's got to change to a spread formation where you got 4 or 5 receivers, I say, hell, go for it.
But Ron keeps saying they got to let a receiver go.
Just no.
I don't see the Patriots giving up on Trey Flowers, and I don't see the Panthers giving up on Curtis Samuel. I think that was the thing that was made for clickbait.
Have happened. Stranger things have happened.
I feel like that's something that was made for clickbait. I just don't see that happening.
You mean like half the Patriot articles that are written now by ESPN are clickbait?
Pretty much.
Let them know. But yeah, man, I think that was all the news.
Yeah, we had the referee replacing, so I hope it doesn't lead to an NFL like when we have a damn screw up like we did in the Packers and Seahawks game in 2014. I hope we don't see that again. But yeah, apparently there's going to be 4 different refs being replaced this year. 9 referees have retired in the offseason, including Dean Blandino. He actually left his post last offseason for a gig with Fox News. Sorry about that. They lost Walt Anderson, Walt Coleman, Pete Morelli, and Tony Corrente. They're going to be on their way out in a year or so. I'm trying to find the referees that actually walked away. I know one of them was Steratore.
See ya, don't want to be ya.
And Ed Hockley, Jeff Triplett, they both hung it up. Terry McCauley and Gene Steratore, they're the 4 that are leaving the referee position. And yeah, they were some of the most established referees in the NFL. They might be hard to replace. Their replacements are Alex Kemp. He's got 4 years under his belt. Sean Smith and Clay Martin, they've only been in the NFL for 3 years. They got college football experience. I'm just seriously hope it doesn't end up creating another Hail Mary type situation for the NFL. I mean, refereeing's already bad enough. Let's be honest. All right, so we talked about the referees. We talked about Jameis Winston. I do got to ask you this. With Jameis Winston, do you think he can stay out of trouble? Because from what I've seen, if he gets in trouble one more time, he's out.
He's bad. The Florida people, they want him gone, so they hope he do.
Say that again?
For real. The people down here in Florida, they hate him. They want him gone.
Here's an idea. Send him to waste management.
Right. Yeah, they hate Winston, man.
All right, so apparently Jameis Winston and the NFL made a deal. That was the reason why he didn't get hit as hard as you would think he would. He was suspended for 3 games. Originally, this was going to be for 6 games.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 6 games, man.
Originally, it was going to be for 6. But apparently, they cut a deal with Jameis Winston because they didn't want him trying to fight this suspension in the NFL media. They didn't want to dominate in the media, making the NFL look worse. They didn't want to have a legal court situation, I guess, like they did with Brady and the Patriots a couple of years ago. And I think they also didn't want to have Jameis Winston labeled as a sexual offender.
Too late for that.
I also got to say this, too. As the Carolina Panther fan, keep this in mind. I mean, I'm wearing a damn DeLong jersey right here. I got my Panther man cave. Jerry Richardson should have gotten worse than what he did. Based off of the evidence that come out, comments that he made, as well as racially charged comments. You know, it really is like a slap in the face as a Panther fan. He always presented such a wholesome family first image. For it to come out that he was like a snake in sheep's clothing, hitting on women, flirting with women when he's married. Let's not forget the whole Jean Friday. You know what? We can keep that. I love seeing ladies in jeans, in yoga pants. We can add yoga pants Friday to it too. But just seeing the notes that he wrote and harassing females and racial remarks and stuff like that, he got a slap on the wrist when you look at his fine. Sure, $2.75 million. Sounds big, but then you think, oh, well, you know, he just got a $2.5 billion deal by selling the Carolina Panthers.
Right. They should have charged him $200 million. They should have hit him hard.
I have to say, the NFL this past week, they failed in the situation handling of Jameis Winston as well as Jerry Richardson. They did not do enough.
If they're trying to set the tone where let me not say that. Never mind.
No, go ahead, man. You started saying it.
No, I ain't trying to, because I was going to lay on them.
Mr. Controversy.
No, I'm not going to do it. Nah.
All right, another NFL news. You'll probably like to hear this, Jay Nas. Redskins cornerback Josh Norman and Saints linebacker Demario Davis both spent time last week in San Antonio, Texas, giving out backpacks stuffed with supplies for immigrant families separated at the border.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to just mention that. That's what I was just going to mention. So, let's see how that works.
Go ahead, man. I know you got some love for J-No.
I was going to say is, fuck it, I'm going to say it. I was like, if they trying to be tough, they need to do like what Trump doing at taking these kids at the border. They need to be strict. You break a rule, you're going to pay for that. and make you think twice about breaking them rules.
All right. You know what? It's great to see good news actually being reported by the NFL. I love seeing that, they visited immigrants. They visited the children. They helped make their life better. Too many times on the news you see the Blues. I'm happy to see that actually something positive made the news. And I definitely, you know what? I'm very glad that Josh Norman did what he did. Nothing but a class act from JNO24.
Can't wait till you come home, brother.
That makes two of us. When he does come back to Carolina, even if he's got to play safety, even if he ends up moving to safety, he's really the Panthers. I can't wait to see him return. I think he is going to be back too, especially since the Panthers got rid of Gettleman.
He will be back, no question.
Last thing on the news, Jaguars defensive tackle Marcel Darius has donated through his foundation $125,000 to build a 3-classroom school in Haiti. And he was actually there this past week where he's visited for his second summer in a row.
Oh, speaking of that, we didn't touch on that. What's that Giants corner name? Demers Jenkins, something like that?
Janoris Jenkins. See, I knew there was something we needed to touch on in NFL news this week. Janoris Jenkins.
The way they making it seem, like he just has some random body in those houses. It was someone that was living there.
It was his brother.
Yeah.
His brother has been charged with aggravated murder. But yeah, when it first come out, it made it look like it was. I get what you're saying, and then they had Janoris Jenkins listed as a suspect. Notoriety Sports Network actually broke that almost as soon as it happened. I saw that posted on the page.
But I think that was all of the news.
Yeah, I'm looking at news now. I guess the only thing I can say here is, I guess if you want to talk NFL with me, Madden, 7 players have made it to the NFL Rankings Club this week, including the NFL 99 for Madden Club, including Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady. And which is hilarious when you think about it.
And Tom Brady.
Y'all, he returns. James is back. You gone quiet on us.
Yeah.
I'm finna slide out.
I stay out of Panther talk.
All right. Well, we were just mostly talking some NFL talk, but yeah. Aaron Rodgers, Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, Von Miller, Antonio Brown, Aaron Donald, and the Carolina Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly all will be 99 in Madden this year. The ironic thing is reports, rankings come out just a week or two ago that had the Carolina Panthers rated, I think, 76 overall in Madden 19 and had Luke Kuechly as a 97 overall. And I think they have Cam Newton ranked as an 82 overall. I think that those initial reports are wrong. I don't see how that's possible. Reports I've been seeing from people playing the game have the Panthers as an 86 overall team. So, but that's that's Madden, not real NFL. All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of NFL Weekly Straight Talk with Jamel, myself, James Flythe, and he wasn't with us, but the Pope, Terrence Pope. Next week, tune in. We're going to be talking defensive linemen, defensive tackle, defensive ends. Give some more hog molly love to the big guys who try to get after the quarterbacks in your run game. We're also going to be talking some NFL free agency. Who's going to be going where this next week? NFL free agency week 2 or wave 2, kicks off in earnest. You're going to start seeing players getting cut with July 1st designations, allowing their teams to save money. Players are going to start moving to different teams. Who's going to go where? We're going to discuss that as well as the top 10 defensive tackles, defensive ends next week on NFL Weekly Straight Talk, episode 57. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all want to say anything to close or?
Remember, no days off.
Hashtag no days off. You know what? I know it's a Patriot slogan, but I love that. If you want, you know what? We got to keep improving. I love that. Hashtag no days off. It's a great mindset. Jamel, you got anything you want to say in closing? That's right. He said he was going to be heading off when we finished talking about JNO24. All right. For myself, for James Flythe, for Terrence Pope, the Pope, who was not with us today, and for Jamel Ace Boogie Clark, thank you for tuning in. Keep pounding worldwide, and we'll see you next week here on Notoriety Sports Network and 3 and Out Radio Network. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Just a reminder, next week, same cat time, same cat channel, defensive tackles, defensive ends, and free agency preview. Who's going to go where? We're going to be talking about that and more here on Notoriety Sports Network and 3 and Out Radio Network. Have a great one, everybody.